Howdy, friends and floorheads. The finale of our Deadlands run, doing Dead Man Walking by Shane Hensley, or at least my take on it. We've got the crew here. We obviously just finished the recap. So let's set the scene. I'm imagining it's still dark out. In fact, we look up and we can see the big round moon, which hasn't moved for the entire time that these gentlemen have been in perdition. They're all standing in the front yard of a rundown, not taken care of white Victorian home. In the front yard with them, there's a doghouse with a sign that says devil. They just yanked the chain that ran into that house to find a collar, a big collar, but it's empty. And as we closed out episode 2, they heard the howling of dogs. So we fade in from black and we see our 4 heroes standing there as they hear those howls happening.
That's probably not good.
Get to the front door and get inside as fast as possible.
Yep.
Inside the creepy house, is that?
I'll take the
Yes.
rear guard. You guys get
I'd
inside.
rather take my chances with the 2 inside than, possibly multiple of what we had to face outside of town.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to start heading toward the front door. And yes, I'm expecting the little girl to show up when we get close.
So as you start heading towards the front door, you see the front door is closed the way we left it. The last time we interacted with her was in the back door. Toshiro, of course, you still have what she called the whacking stick in your hand. Sebastian, I assume you've got your rifle out. Edward, if I remember correctly, you got your pistol out. And Jack, I assume you got your deck of cards.
Yep.
So Jack, let's have you get to the front porch first. And as you step up on the steps, you blink and you find yourself on the ground again. You look around, you can see the fence. You can see the doghouse. But that huge Victorian white house is gone. Toshiro, Sebastian, Edward, you all just see Jack step up like 2 steps, and then all of a sudden, it almost kind of melts away and just reveals the landscape behind it.
I hate the hunting ground.
But so what we saw was the house disappear, not him disappear.
Correct.
Okay.
So Jack is still standing there, but right now he's just standing in this middle of this huge fenced area.
And do we see the girl?
You do not.
Okay, great.
It looks to be the only things inside this fenced area is that tree. Of course, the doghouse. The chain is still there with the spike. And then that white fence that ran the perimeter of where the house was, with a gate in the back, which you've gone through already, and then the gate in the front, which you haven't gone through yet.
Are we still hearing the howling?
You are. You're hearing it from both sides. It almost seems like it's surrounding you at this point. Hard to tell how many different howls.
Okay, since I'm the closest, I'm going to run over to the back gate and close it. And if I see a locking mechanism, lock it.
Got it.
We're saved.
Wait, no, first rule, split the party, right?
Well, you're still together. That's the thing, right? So you all are still in this fenced-in area. Edward, Sebastian, Toshiro.
Maybe the fence, or maybe
I'm just going to be...
Maybe the house turned invisible.
We saw Jack literally fall
Correct.
as the steps disappeared beneath him.
And you also just saw me walk through the area the house was in to get to the back because I straight shot at it.
I feel like Edward is panically, scanning left and right to see if we can determine anything about where these howls are coming from.
So, Edward, as you're scanning left and right, of course, as you look south, you see the road that led up to this house, and you can still see the 4 buildings that were there. Originally, there were 8, but as you remember, 4 of them had mysteriously vanished when this house appeared. But there's still 4. Coming down the center of the street from the same place where you entered Perdition, you can now see 4, maybe 4 dogs. No, there's more than 4. And there might be 5 or 6 dogs. And they're marching together as a pack, heading your way. As best as you can tell from where you're standing, Edward, they're all different sizes, all large, some larger than others. They don't seem to be the same breeds. You don't give a real clear picture of them yet, though. They're too far down.
And you said they're all coming up the road from south.
Correct. They're coming basically taking the same path you came in.
And from our perspective, or I guess from what I can tell, they're dogs and not wolf monsters that we saw earlier.
You really, I mean, they're a good 200-300 yards away, right? So at this point,
Okay.
you can just tell they're dogs. You can tell that they're large breed dogs, but from where you are, they don't appear to be supernaturally large.
So I think I'll let everyone know that I see these things coming from the south, and I might just move towards the tree and sort of put the tree between myself and these marching dogs.
Okay. So you're kind of hiding behind the tree a little bit, still watching them, of course. Gentlemen?
If I look up to the north, do I see any other thing coming from the north end?
So as you look south, of course, you see the dogs, and Sebastian, just
Yeah.
being as paranoid as I think you often are, you turn your head right around immediately and check your 6, right?
Yeah.
And you just see, as far as you can see, with as dark as it is, with the moonlight, you can see the fence. You can see it quickly turn into that tall, chest high grasslands, and there does
Okay.
not seem to be anything there. You look to your left and to your right,
Mm.
and it seems like all of the focus is there. In fact, it's a little eerie because you'd swear it's a little bit brighter where the dogs are.
Okay. Interesting. So I'll keep my eyes north and start slowly backing up while I watch Jack, and I'll be like, Jack, let's get grouped up here.
Okay. So as soon as I get the gate closed and potentially locked, I'll head back.
Sure, what are you doing?
I'm going to. Boy, fellas, I don't know if I should be using this whacking stick or my spear. This thing is heavy as hell.
Given our luck with your spear with previous animals, I think you may be better off with using the weapon that you were handed in this area.
Yeah, all right. I'll lean my spear up against the fence so it's nearby, and I'll stand at the entryway. Fellas, I think if we funnel them in here, we can at least hold them off for as best as we can. So I'm gonna open up this gate. You do your best to make sure I don't get surrounded.
Gotcha.
Hey, Craig,
Alrighty.
rules question: Is there a shoot
So I'll-
into melee penalty in this game? Is that a thing?
I don't believe so. Eric, do you know of a shooting into melee penalty?
I don't think innately, but if you critically fail, you shoot somebody who's in the melee, I believe.
closest to the target.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
basically, don't critically fail because I don't want to get shot. I think is what I'm hearing.
Let's just keep putting that out there. That's
Especially for me.
Well, we already knew.
Because then you get shot with a
Yeah.
raise.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll open up the front gate and stand guard with my whacking stick, feeling a little self-conscious about using an axe
Well, and
handle rather than
what's
my spear.
crazy about that, Toshiro, is I mean, you've carried some heavy weapons in your time, and I mean, you're holding this thing with one hand, and just out of almost instinct, you start using two hands. Like it just feels better with two hands around it, and the weight of it almost dictates two hands on it. So you flip open that gate. The gate opens. I have you standing there. You've got the whacking stick, holding it with two hands. We've got Edward over by the tree with his pistol, Sebastian with his rifle, kind of inching his way back from the front gate, keeping some distance there. And then I've got Jack walking up close. Once that gate fully opens, there are 6 dogs, and they start running towards you. I'm going to give you guys all one round of actions, but let's go ahead and put some initiative action here. So let me shuffle. There we go. Give it a couple shuffles, and then let's deal some cards. Let's see now. Jack, you get 2. Is that right?
Edward gets 2.
Yeah,
and
Edward gets 2.
the lowest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
And-
going to be a total of 2 for me, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards is what we need.
And somebody else is quick, so they
Yeah,
don't
if I get
keep
it dealt
5.
below a 5, I need to be redealt.
All right, so Shiro, I've got you at a 7. I've got Jack at a 9. We've got Edward. Always gets an ace. But at least you got an 8, right? God, that's funny. I swear that's happened almost every time. King for Sebastian. Very nice. And then my 2 are a queen and a deuce. So that means we're going to start off. We're going to go in order by the cards, but I will not take an action. So all of you get a free turn, and then we'll go back to Sebastian. So Sebastian, then Jack, then Edward, then Toshiro. Let's start with you, Sebastian.
All right. So I'll what range would these guys be at?
Let's have them by the time they're running everything, medium range.
Medium. Okay, so that's 48. That'd be a -1 on the roll, right? At medium range. Yeah. All right, I'll take a pot shot at the lead dog
All right.
with my Winchester. So that's 48. No, that'd be -1. Lighting penalties.
Nope.
Okay. Shooting is D8. So, all right, let's see what we got.
That's a good way to start.
All
A
right.
little explosion. So with the explosion, you put yourself right at an 8 because you're at a
Yep.
-1. That is going to hit the dog. So let's go ahead and do a damage roll. Let's see if you can
Yep.
beat its toughness.
Okay, so that'll be
That's with a raise, right?
yes, that is with a
You'll
raise.
get a raise. That's correct. So it's going to be another D6 on top of it.
Yep.
Damage.
So it's a 2d8 -1, but I get +1 because of my Grim Servant of Death. So that'll
Let's roll
even
that,
out.
and then we'll roll the D6 separate and add them together.
okay. 1 second. Let me. Oh gosh. Oh, that's how that works. No, we need to keep that on. Don't get that. Sorry. All right, here we go. So here are the 2d8. Okay. And then
This is a hell of a first round for Sebastian.
the next one.
All right, so that's going to put you at a 21 total damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's 22.
22. That's correct. So,
Yep.
Sebastian, I want you to walk me through this sequence when you shoot the dog, and I'm going to tell you what happens when you do.
All right. So I just backing up, trying to get close, like trying to get us grouped up, or
These
You
dogs
know,
are
and
just running.
Yeah, and they're just running, and they'll just take a aim at the lead one and pull the trigger, and
And it
hopefully
feels like,
catch it right between the eyes.
yeah, and it feels like this all happens at the same time. So we
Mhm.
as soon as Toshiro swings open that gate door, that's when the dogs change their pace. They're no longer just kind of walking lazily down this road. They immediately start running. And in the lead of this is this huge Bernese dog. And that's Sebastian. You line up, you fire the gun as the sound of the bullet goes through your ears and the ears of your three friends. The eyes of each one of these dogs light up, a burning coal red in each of their eyes. It feels like time slows, almost can see the bullet. This big Bernese is running, and it goes to jump over the fence. Your bullet comes, hits it in the chest. The dog goes flying back, but before it hits the ground, it like goes away in a puff of smoke. It just the last thing you see is where the eyes were just glint out. We've got the other dogs running, all of them about to kind of jump over that fence and get inside the fence. So that puts me at Jack.
Okay. So I'm going to spend a Benny to do deal with the devil. So there goes my Benny. Let me double check. I think of a D8 in that.
So now you got to do your gambling roll, and that's going to dictate how many cards you get. Is that right, Jack?
Correct. So I do my gambling roll, and I get 5 cards base, and then okay, so I'll get 5 cards. Or actually, yeah, I'll stick with that.
All right, great.
I get 6 cards.
6 cards.
I get one with an extra one with an ace, an extra 2 with a raise.
All right.
So I am casting Burst, which is a cone, and it says for narrative, you get 3 models or 3 enemies. And so basically, I'm trying to hit the back 3 to see if I can cause them to instinctively peel off and split their party.
I love it. All right. So it looks like Jack high to me. Jack.
Okay.
Is that what it looks like to you?
Oh, did you miss the 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got a 4.
I'm talking about the number.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, almost got
I was
straight.
missing
3,
card.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, look at
Yeah.
that. I did. Yeah. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second time.
All right. So with a Jack high, Jack, what does that do for us?
I get nothing because I need an ace high gives me 2 power points. Any high below that gives me nothing. So I get a -2 on my spellcasting roll.
Okay.
Because it's a 2 power point spell. And let me just double check my spellcaster, which I think was also a D8. It is a D8. So roll. All right. So I get on a 4, I get a 2d6 damage.
Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and roll that up.
Now, does that explode? I forget.
The damage dice explode. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
They
So
explode,
make sure
they get no wild die.
Right.
Look at this first round. 11 damage. So Jack, you were aiming this. So this cone can hit multiple enemies, right? Do we do the same damage roll for each enemy?
Let me double check. I've got that section open. Use measurements below. Defensive bonus. You ignore defensive bonus. Place the template. If the roll is successful, any target, even partially beneath, is affected, regardless of any attacks. If the effect causes damage, roll for each victim separately. So you do each victim separately, and it says templates without miniatures. Cone gives you 3 targets affected.
Perfect.
So I'm hitting the 3 in the back. So 11 on the
11
first.
on one of them.
5 on the second.
5 on the second. 5 on the third. So Jack, you hear the gunshot go, right? As Toshiro opens that gate, you see the first large dog jump, Sebastian hits it with a bullet. This dog goes flying back, and before it hits the ground, just dissipates into the darkness. We've got 5 more dogs on their way. You focus yourself on the last 3, the ones farthest away. What does Jack casting cone look like?
So he just takes the deck and basically does the bridge shuffle into the air, and he kind of moves his hand over so that the cards spread out and goes through the through the gate or over the fence into the back 3, and the first one gets hit by most of them, but then the other 2 kind of get hit lightly with them.
So here's what I'm imagining, Jack, and correct me if this doesn't work for you, but I'm imagining that I love that bridge shuffle idea, and just the cards just come out and like almost like in a funnel, a twisting funnel of just cards. And at times they look like cards, at times they're kind of an energy. They kind of phase in and out. And the main blast hits this first dog. It's a mastiff dog, and it floods its face, and the eyes hide, and as that happens, we just see it almost dissipate and go into smoke, just like the first one. And then I'm imagining the cards then curling back and hitting the second 2 dogs from behind. So as those other 2 dogs are leaping over the fence, the cards come up from behind them, knock them so that they're about to like basically fall on their side within the fence. But again, they dissipate as well. We've only got 3 dogs left, and only 2 of you have gone. So that puts me at Edward. Edward, you're the gunshots, the bridge card funnel out and just takes all these ones out.
So I think the first thing is do we think that there's anything I could do with occult knowledge that might give me any more information about dissipating dogs?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think that, and had you not seen them, not fall into, with bodies after being shot, I think it would be a little bit different. But I think you've got all the information you need.
Okay.
So it looks like regular weapons, bullets are hurting them, and it looks like magic's hurting them as well.
Okay. So I think that Edward will take aim at the largest dog that remains.
The Malamute?
And that is going to be what he timidly does from behind this tree.
Is it just kind of a...
It's exactly. Yeah. And I think my initial thought was lead dog, and then the lead dog disappeared into a puff of smoke. So I'm going to slide over to the largest possible target.
So Tashira, you're standing there, and each time you're kind of bracing yourself, getting ready and then it just seems like your friends are picking off these dogs even before they get to them, but they haven't got all of them. There's still 3 dogs, and they are headed directly to you. You can see those burning coal red eyes. One's a Great Dane, one's a huge white shaggy Pyrenees, another's a Saint Bernard, and they are about to get on you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just if they're that close to me, I'm just going to run at them and try to take the fight to one of them
let's
first.
do it.
Hit him with the whacking stick. All right.
So a 12 hits a
Live
dog.
with that.
That's going to be with what?
Now, is that with a raise?
Be an extra D6. So I think you need the damage for the whacking stick, don't you? So it's going to be your strength. What's your strength?
I do.
Plus 2d6.
Strength is D6.
Plus the D6 for the raise.
Plus, okay. Plus 2d6. Oh man.
Yep.
All right. So let me do my strength roll first.
Sounds like
here.
that sticks magic.
So
Most of your damaging spells are 2d6.
It's a good whacking stick.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
It wasn't called the Penton stick.
Let's roll. All right, that one does ace. So that's my strength roll here.
All right, so it's a 9 for your strength. Now let's do the 2d6 for the whacking stick.
All right.
That's going to
boy.
be a
That poor dog.
22 plus the d6 for the raise. All right. So with a measly 27,
All right.
you swing. And I'm imagining it's the St. Bernard. And it's almost like at first the St. Bernard didn't recognize it. But as soon as you're about halfway into that swing to Shiro, you can see its face and you can see it almost trying to pull back. Like it doesn't want to attack you now. It doesn't want to jump on top of you, but it's too late. And the minute that whack and stick hits, we see that smoke dissipation to the point where it almost doesn't stop your swing. It's almost if no resistance happened whatsoever. So unlike with the bullets and the cards where we saw the reaction, right? We saw the bullet hit the dog. We saw the cards hit the dogs and then they dissipated. It's almost like you swung in air. And by the time the stick got within millimeters of it, it immediately dissipated to the point where it never even slowed your swing. Let's go back to the top of the order. Sebastian, last thing you're seeing is the cards flying around, taking some dogs out. You see Edward behind the tree holding his gun. You see Toshiro just swing and just dissipate a dog. There's only 2 dogs left, and they are inside the fence.
Okay. So I'll be like, well, this seems to be working a lot better than when we were outside of town, boys. And I'll take another shot at the dog.
All right, let's do it.
Oh my
So
god.
10.
That's a hit.
All right. So the 2d8 for the rifle.
Raise
That
again,
is
right?
a raise. Yep. So it's gonna be an extra D6.
Oh,
Guys
and the rifle's also AP2 if that matters right now.
okay, great.
Some more d8. So there's that. And the d6. 5, 3, so 19.
That is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 19. So you take another dog out. I'm going to let you describe it this time. So let's make that the Great Dane. So as the Great Dane goes past Toshiro and is now headed straight for you and Jack.
Mm-hmm. I mean, once again, this is working a lot better, boys. And I just pull the trigger right as like it's up in the air, jumping to like come down on me. And I just right in the chest and, blow it back a little bit as it.
Yeah, just. And it's almost like, when you burn paper and as the paper starts flying off, that's what this dissipation looks like.
Okay.
As these dogs are taking this damage. So the queen is to me, I've only got a dog left. And this one is going to go for Toshiro. So let's go ahead and have it try. So I assume that beats your parry, Toshiro.
Ow.
What is your parry?
Just a little bit.
All right, so that's going to give that'll be with a raise then. Let's see. All right, so that is going to give me 13. What's your toughness?
Oof. Toughness is 5,
All right,
so that's
so
2 raises there. So I'm
All
going
right,
to
let's
go ahead and try to
her.
soak that. All right, and then my vigor here is a D6, I recall. All right, that I can live with. So I guess I soak both the wounds. I don't know if I'm
from my
still
understanding,
shaking,
you'll still
though.
be shaken, right? Because we did.
Nope. If you soak all wounds, you're not shaken.
Cool. You're not shaken.
All right, I can.
All right,
good use of a Benny then.
I would like to know what happens there, Toshiro, because you did get hit by this dog. So when this dog gets on you, what happens?
I think it leaps on me and is, it's trying to bring me down, but I managed to get the whacking stick right between its jaws just before it gets right into my face.
Wrestling with it. It's like then you got the stick right there holding it back. All right. So after the queen. After the queen,
Bad dog.
we have got Jack. What's our gambler doing?
Okay. So if I draw a deck to cast a spell with, then that counts as 2 actions, right? Drawing and casting? Or are you just counting that as a single action?
I would count that. No, I would like the drawing of the deck would be an incidental. So yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. That's fine, Jack.
So I'll pull out a fresh deck because my other one's in the ground, and then just basically grab the top, bring it out and just kind of grab the top few cards and throw it. So I'm going to spend a power point to cast Bolt.
All right.
So that is my D8. Okay, just made it. So that's going to be my 2d6 of damage on that last one. 6.
All right, and that's going to get past its toughness. So it knocks to the ground. It's not dead, but you knock it to the ground. It is now shaken. So it's on the ground shaken. So you knock it off of Toshiro. So Toshiro, you're holding it. Jack comes in. Card comes flying in. Hits the dog. Knocks it to the ground. You hear it yelp. That takes me to Edward.
You're gonna make me shoot this dog while it's down, huh? That's how we're doing. All right. And because I aimed, is this the dog that I aimed at?
Yep.
I've lost the tally. Then I should get a +2 because there's no penalties to remove, right? I can remove.
Yep, no penalty. So just add a +2 to your roll, your shooting roll. Good thing you got the +2.
Sure is.
So you hit the dog. Let's roll damage.
Let's find that number. I think it's a 2d6. It is. And those cannot, they're not wild, right?
Right.
They're just ace. So Toshiro's got the whacking stick in this dog's mouth. Jack throws a card to it that just turns into this energy that hits the dog in the side and just pulls away from Toshiro. It falls to the ground. We see Edward's shaking hand as he's been standing there behind the tree. He pulls the trigger. What happens, Edward?
So I think Edward was aiming for center mass, but because his hand's shaking quite a bit, he actually ended up hitting it like right in the head, and that's why it sort of just kind of blows right through.
Yeah.
Is it that, or he was actually aiming at the flank, and because I knocked it down by the time he pulled the trigger, the head was where the flank was.
That could be.
He was going to miss until Jack moved the dog.
Well, I figure he was just trying to scare the dog by shooting him in the flank. It wasn't necessarily a miss.
So what's crazy about that is we see that burning ember kind of dissipation as this dog on the ground goes, but at the same time we see the dirt where the bullet hits the dirt as well, right? So it looks like the bullet went into the dog and almost went through the dog, so it almost kind of happens all at once. And we see burning embers just flying in the wind as all 6 of these dogs are vanquished.
Is it just me, or does anyone else notice that none of those dogs would fit that collar?
Is that true?
Gotta say, I wasn't paying too close of an attention there, Jack. I was a little
Jack,
preoccupied.
way to point out something very terrifying in light of our victory.
Well, I'd rather point it out now than later when it's too late.
Have all the howls that we were hearing from our flanks dissipated?
When you finally stop for a second, Edward, I think that you kind of perk your ears up and there's silence. But it's like when you recognize the silence is when the howls start again. It starts with 1 and just seems to multiply. And instinctively, you all look south, right? Where the dogs were, where they came before. You don't see anything. You just see that dirt road that ran all the way south. You can see the back of the sign that said "Welcome to Perdition." You see the wood buildings that are raised a little bit up off the ground. And it seems like a shadow forms in the center of the road. Almost like it stretches from a point on the ground and starts stretching towards you. And as you watch that shadow form, as you get focused on the shadow growing, you look up and you see this black form.
That's starting to look like it fits the collar.
Four-legged. It's on all fours. You can't quite make out any kind of features. It's definitely canine shaped. And on all fours from where you are, as best as you can tell, that thing has got to be on all fours 6 foot from shoulder to ground. So as you see that thing form, the hairs on the back of your arms immediately go straight up because you have seen this. You have fought this. You have died to this. And as all that information is coming in, as all of this is unfolding in front of you, we see 6 more dogs pour out in front of it and head directly towards you. Let's do some fresh initiative. We'll start off with yours.
Well, shit.
We're going to need 5 cards for you.
This time we have a whacking stick, so we should be fine.
I saw 2 jokers.
That's okay. Cool. That's
Is
all
this the
one.
only?
All right, a 4 for Toshiro, an 8 for Jack, a joker for Sebastian, and you do not get the joker. Is that right?
I do get to take the joke.
Yeah.
You do. All right, so now I've got the 2 packs of dogs. So they're going to get, there's 6 of them. There's 2 packs of 3, so they're going to get 2 cards.
So I forget, do we all get pennies on the joker or just the person who got the joker?
No, you
everybody
all
does.
get bennies. So each of you add 2 bennies. Good call. I had forgotten about that, Jack. So we got an ace and an 8 for the 2 packs of dogs. And then our mystery friend gets the best of 3.
Sorry about that. Spent one.
So our mystery friend is going to take the King of Spades. All right, so as I go down the initiative order, first the ace is going to go first unless either of my jokers want to go.
I think I'm going to hold.
Sebastian?
I'm going to go ahead and go.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go, looks like it's round 2, you son of a bitch, and take a shot at the big dog.
All right, let's take a shot at the big dog. It's going to be at long range, which your rifle should handle.
Okay. Oh, that'll be -2, right? For, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But I'm at +2 because of the joker.
Great. So let's even it up.
Yep. So D8 shooting. Ooh, we are going to Benny that.
So you're going to spend a Benny to re-roll.
Yep. Okay. Hold on, man. Okay. Try this. Dang it.
What you trying to do, boss?
I'm trying to roll, but my thing's. Oh, never. 1 second. Sorry.
Got it?
There we go. Yep. Figured it out. So.
All right.
All right.
So at a 7, you are not going to. Well, no, with a gun, there's no parry, right? So it's just a matter of
Right.
getting to a 4. So you do hit the
Yep.
dog.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. So damage is 2d6. Um, 2d6. It's -1, but I'm +1 because of Grim Servant of Death, so that'll even that out.
Let's do a straight 2d6.
Joker doesn't add
Isn't it
anything to
2d8 for the
this.
rifle?
Oh yeah, it is d8. Sorry. Yep. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So let's roll these. 4, and that is doubled because of my dead shot. I double damage on a Joker.
Oh, nice. Unfortunately, that bullet flies true, hits that big black massive dog, which hasn't moved. You see no reaction. You can't even tell. You know you hit it, but it could have just as easily been flying through curtains in an open window.
Oh, shit, we're back to this.
All right, so I'm.
Guess we're using this
We've
whacking
got
stick
my
for
ace
whacking,
coming
huh?
up, unless Edward wants to do something.
No, I'm good right now. Thank you.
All right, so the first set of dogs are going to be on Toshiro. So we're going to have 3 of them attacking Toshiro. Let's do our first one. That one fails. My second one also fails. And my third one.
Ah,
The
rats.
third one does
Oh,
hit
no.
with a 13. That also gives me a raise, right?
Yep.
All right, so
Parry
then
6.
hits damage for its bite with the extra d6 for the raise. What's your toughness?
So that's just
All right, so
toughness is 5. So I'm
these
just
3
shaking.
dogs get on top of you. The first 2, how do you prevent the first 2 from hitting? What happens when the third one hits you?
I think I'm just swinging the whacking stick wide, and they're staying back. And the last one just like jumps at me from behind, and I turn just in time that it bounces off of me, but I'm a little taken off my stride.
I'm imagining it knocks you down at this point, and I'm going to have the dog right on top of you. Let's have it be a huge sheepdog, a huge shaggy sheepdog with its red eyes burning on you. It's knocked you down, and it doesn't knock you out, but you're shaking. We're going to now go to the big, scary 6-foot dog, unless Edward wants to take an action.
No, I think I'm gonna wait and see what the big scary dog does.
I think all of you, even though you've got these other dogs running towards you, after seeing Sebastian just dead shot this thing, and it just that bullet passing through, I think all of you are anxious to see. Part of you expects the dog just to start running, just like all the other ones, but it doesn't. It starts kind of walking while all of this is happening, just slowly on all 4s, to the point where you finally can start seeing its face. And it is a huge mastiff face with the jowls. But it feels like the skin is kind of falling off its face, but it gets replaced. So it's not like the skin is peeling off. It just feels like all of its skin is moving. And it stands up on 2 4s, broadens its shoulders out, and then continues walking. That's going to be its action. It'll be within range of Toshiro next time. So that brings me to Jack, unless Edward wants to go.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm changing thoughts real quick. Okay. So I'm going to spend another Benny. screen. And I'm just
And
going
that's
to
gonna put you at 3 bennies.
So I'm going to just take the deck that I just pulled out, and I'm kind of I'm doing a fan shuffle, and I'm casting Entangle. So what I'm picturing is I'm hoping that they'll just kind of circle around. So this is another deal with the devil.
All right, and we're going after the big one.
Yeah, we're going after the big one, trying to entangle him.
All right, so let's do your rolls. Let's figure out how many cards I deal you.
Okay. So I'll keep the 5, so I get 6.
All righty. Doesn't look like a whole lot. I think we're going to king high, but let's make sure here.
Okay. Yeah. So this is another
No,
one
you got
where
a pair of 6s.
Cool. Okay, then I'm good. Because double check it. I think a pair of anything under a jack is 3, and I need 2.
Beautiful.
Doesn't he get
Did I?
6
Oh,
cards?
you got a 9 too. Was there?
Okay.
Sorry. Did
No
the
problem.
9 didn't change
Yeah.
anything, or to make it 2 pair? Was there another 9 in there?
I don't think so.
believe so.
I mean,
what
basically,
you
as long
needed
as I
anyway.
had ace high or better,
No.
Got it.
I'm good.
Good call though, Corey. Thank you.
All right. That goes off with a raise. So let me pull the spell back up real quick. So I am not seeing anything. Entangle allows the caster to restrain a target. Violent trappings hardness 5. It's successful. The target is entangled. With a raise, he's bound. So there is a raise.
Yep.
Victims may break free on their turn, as detailed, bound, and entangled on page 98. So I'll look that up.
If you look that up, Jack, well, and
I
we'll
will.
remember that the next time Devil gets to go. All right, so that takes care of Jack. Jack, we've got the cards just circling and almost connecting into like this rope. So we had this picture of this huge mastiff just standing there with this black peeling moving skin, standing upright with these broad shoulders, and you immediately have these cards come in, and they've now wrapped around and brought his paws in front of him, and he's standing there just wrangling around, being entangled by these. All right, we're going to go to the next set of dogs, unless my Joker wants to go.
I think I am going to just take a shot at those dogs.
Okay, you'll be at a +2 because of the Joker.
And I will point out that the big dog is currently distracted and vulnerable as long as he remains bound. If that changes your thoughts any.
I feel like Edward's
but
a
we've
little
already established the bullets
concerned
don't
that
do anything.
as we start to focus on that big dog, that little dogs will become a problem. And so
Perfectly
Am I-
reasonable.
am I close enough that I don't have any penalties as far as so I get to keep +2, or am I at a -2?
Yeah, you keep your
for
+2.
range? All right.
Very nice. So that's going to be a raise. So it'll be the damage to your gun plus a d6.
So we're going to do the 2 that explode. The 6 does not explode. Is that right? Okay, so it's basically just
It
3d6
still does.
then.
All the dice explode.
Correct. All right. What do you think it is? You think it's a Great Dane?
That seems great. Haha.
All right.
Uh,
And I think it's because it turned to face you and started headed towards you, Edward. So what happens?
I think that maybe Edward's been sort of. I almost want to say, when you get a little scared, and it's that point where you start to think about praying a little, and that's why he's doing so well with this. Is that there's no way that he should be doing this well in terms of firing this weapon, and I think he again he just plows into it, and I'm hoping it dissipates.
All right. So that's going to bring us to our last pack of dogs. Those pack of dogs, seeing that this one dog is on top of Toshiro, just blast past Toshiro, and they're going to go for you, Edward. So let's have the first one.
There's only two in this group,
yeah,
right?
let's have him hitting that one. So let's have just two. Yep. The other three are on top of you, Toshiro. All right, both of them miss you. New round. We got to get a fresh deck because we had some jokers.
I don't think I
how
took
did
my
miss
turn
you?
because I had a 4.
Got it.
I think I was
apologize.
at the
Go
bottom
ahead,
of the order.
Toshiro. Yeah, you probably want to go. See,
That's
you're
okay.
shaking out on
So
the
I'm
ground.
gonna try to unshake. Yeah. Let's see if I can get out of that. I'm just gonna Benny, so I'm no longer shaking on that one. And I don't remember if there are like attacks of opportunity.
I don't
in
believe
this.
so.
Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is toss off the dog that's on top of me and run straight at Devil since he's already vulnerable, and
Can you give
try
me
to
a
hit him with
strength
the
roll?
whacking stick. Yeah, absolutely. Oh wait, I gotta actually click the dice.
All right, so you're able to pull this dog that's on top of you off. You get up to your hands and onto your feet, and you've got whacking stick, and you just start jetting it towards him. You're going to get within range of him after one action, so you're going to be right on top of him. He is bound up in these cards that are just spinning like a tornado around him. All right, let's go ahead.
Can I take a
You sure can.
the multi-action penalty to smack him, or okay? So that'll cancel out the vulnerable +2 that I get. That I would have gotten. So, all right. Oh, phew.
Benny it. You got 3 of them, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna Benny it.
Now you got 2.
I had 3 of them.
Let's re-roll that.
All right. Let's see here. Come here, you.
That's probably a little bit better, don't
that
you
was
think?
a good choice on the Benny.
So a 15 hits him with just shy of it, just 1 raise.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the 2d6 for the. So I'll do my d6 for strength. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, I guess
it's just a 2 on that one.
Well, that's the 2d6. That's 4 or 2 damage for the whacking stick. What's your strength?
Okay.
All right, let's roll d6
strength
for
is
that.
also d6, so we'll go ahead and do
3
that.
damage.
Oh,
and let's hope the raise gives you
and
something.
And then the raise. Oh my gosh.
So what I'm imagining is you swing, and believe it or not, I think it's the cards. So you hit and you swing, and the movement of the cards and everything, you realize that what you do, all you end up doing is dissipating the cards and spreading through the cards. So in a weird way, it was the tornado that is binding him is actually, I think, saved Devil from getting hit by this whacking stick. That was well done, though. Good choice of multi-action. All right, so let's deal out the 5 to you first, gentlemen. All right, Toshiro with the 3, a 7 to Jack, a 9 or a 7. We're going to give the 7 to Edward, and then a 5 to Sebastian. All right, then each of my 2 packs of dogs, they get 2. 1 for each pack. They got a 9 and a 3. And then Devil's going to get the best of 3.
That best of 3 is not terrifying at all.
Looks like he got a 10. So that puts Devil first.
We shuffled up the cards after those jokers came out, right?
All right, so that means that I need to do
I
a
really want those out again.
strength. What did you find there, Jack? I saw it in the chat, but
So Tangling Power is a strength -2 roll or athletics roll, victim's choice.
Okay, so he's going to do a strength -2. He likes that. So that is going to be
And since he's bound goes to entangled on a success and on an ace, and a goes free on a raise. So,
got it. So then this is going to be only +2 because of the -2, right? Yep. All right, so that's going to be a 6 total, which allows him to break free and get 2 entangled, right?
Right. Yeah,
All
it
right.
goes down 1 layer.
And now,
There.
if he's entangled, what can he do?
That's pulling that up right now.
So I'm imagining he gets most of the cards off of him with just kind of with the struggle.
The victim can't move and is distracted as long as he remains so. So he loses the vulnerable, but he keeps everything else.
And distracted puts him in a -2.
That's not right. But I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, there's a bunch of distracted in the game.
I appreciate you looking it up for me,
Yeah.
Donald.
The hero subtracts 2 from all trait rolls until the end of his next turn.
Got it. All
So-
right. So this is going to be at a -2. This is an attack on Toshiro. Your parry's a 5, isn't it, Toshiro? Okay.
Yeah, that'll
So
just
he
hit.
breaks through and
Yep.
just immediately with both arms comes down on top of you. And the damage on that.
Let me pitch out one thing is I think there might be a multi-action penalty on this because isn't it an action for him to disentangle himself?
Double checking. Bound and entangled. Breaking free is an action. So yes, there would
Okay.
be the multi-action penalty.
So he has improved frenzy. So does that gets rid of that, right? Because this would be his second attack, his second action. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So the damage is going to be his strength plus a d12. That we get rid of that. Those 6s don't count. I should have taken the wild off. All right, so it's just going to be it's going to be 9 damage.
Okay, so I will
All right,
be
but not
shaken
enough
again.
to wound you, correct?
Let me double check on that.
Okay,
actually.
so he will
I think my
wound you
toughness is
then.
a 5.
Actually,
Yeah. Unless
He
does
does
have
not.
armor piercing. Okay. Unless my
okay,
armor...
so
go
I
ahead.
looked up improved frenzy, and frenzy is a character with frenzy rolls roll a second fighting die with any one of his fighting attacks for the turn. The extra die may be allocated the same or different targets as he sees fits. Resolve each separately. Improved frenzy is the fighter rolls an extra fighting die with up to 2 fighting attacks the same turn. But by the way, this is on page 42. I'm not seeing anything about it modifying the multi-attack penalty.
So in his profile in the adventure,
Yeah.
it has improved frenzy. Devil can make 2 attacks around at no penalty. So it looks
Okay.
like it has him at no dice. And this
Yeah.
might be an addition change because this is an
Right.
old adventure.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's do
problem.
it that way, but we won't do the additional fighting die.
Yeah.
As we go. Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So you are shaken, Toshiro.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess my one question is if my armor is still intact because when we got killed the
It
first
did
time, I
not
wasn't
get
sure if it got
destroyed. No,
destroyed.
so we'll allow you to get judged. Does that save you from the wound?
Okay, then
All right.
that does
All right,
save
so
me
you
from
are
the
shaken.
wound,
So
just barely.
he breaks free from these cards. These cards just fall down to the ground, and he backhands you. Not interested in talking to you at all, and just kind of just knocks you off to the side. And as he knocks you, as you fall back, you're able to keep to your feet, and he starts to continue to walk towards the other 3 until he turns and sees and catches that whacking stick and sees that thing in your hands and turns right towards you and just full teeth just growls at you, and the eyes just brighten up as he looks at you. All right, so that's my 10. That now takes me to my 9s, which is a pack of dogs. This is going to be the 3 pack of dogs going up on Edward. Or sorry, the 2 going up on Edward.
What?
First one. And second one. What's your parry?
What is my parry? A thing I had not expected to need. My parry is 2.
Your parry is 2, so the second dog hits you. Let's go ahead and roll that damage. All right, what is your toughness, sir?
My toughness is 5.
All right, so that's going to shake you. So this one of the dogs attacks you. Let's make it a Bernese. He gets to you, Edward. What happens? Nope. Are you mute?
Oh, muted. Sorry.
Yep.
I can imagine he snaps onto my still shaking, aiming, firing hand, and just the fact that he's got his teeth sunk into me is a bit unsettling.
Yeah, and you're standing there, and he's got it on your arm, right? So you've got your arm up there, just on instinct. You put your arm right into his mouth as he was coming towards you, and you now are staring face to face with those cold, burning red eyes. All right, that's my 7. Actually, I did that wrong. It should have been Jack that went, not Edward, because you have a spade, right, Jack?
That was the 9 for the dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the 9 for a dog. So then we do go to, Jack then,
Okay.
and then it'll be Edward. Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay. So there's 2 on Edward. Where's the other pack?
Your other pack's headed your way.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to spend a point to do bolt.
All right.
And for those of you at home, Jack started with 10 decks of cards, so he actually does have this many decks.
All right, that's a hit with 10, and that's going to be a raise as well.
Cool. So that will be 3d6 of damage.
That is going to be not enough for a wound, so that's going to shake one of the dogs. Jack,
Okay.
talk to me about what that looks like.
So he just sees him coming. He pulls out. He just tosses one card, and it hits the dog in the leg, and he kind of stumbles a little bit, but it keeps coming at him.
I like it. Talk to me, Edward. You are shaking right now, so the first thing we have to do is deal with that.
I gotta take a vigor roll. Is that right?
Vigor roll, yes, sir.
Spirit roll.
Or spirit.
Spirit.
You're right.
It's spirit doesn't shake.
And if you pass, you're fine. If not,
Is-
you can spend a Benny to pass it.
My spirit is an 8,
That's good.
and that is a wild roll, right? So I get
Correct.
the d6 on that.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and spend the Benny and get unshaken?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, Jim. That's going to put you down to 4 Bennies.
It does.
All right, you are now no longer shaken, sir. What are you going to do? You've got this dog clamped onto your arm.
So can I fire at the dog with the pistol?
Well, let's have you. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and have you pull the bottom of that jaw, rip your arm out, and put the pistol right in on it.
Any penalties for that?
Would imagine. Let's put you to -2.
All right.
So you pull the arm out, you fire, but
I'm
it all
gonna-
just happens just
I'm
too
gonna
fast.
spend a Benny to re-roll that and see what we can do.
You fire once, the bullet misses. You fire again. That was an exciting Benny flip.
Oh yeah. And we said -2.
So we hear both fire go, and just both cases. Just this is a lot, Edward. This is a lot more than you.
It is.
All right, this is going to take me to Sebastian. So, Sebastian, here's the scenario. You're looking downwind to the dog the huge dog that's now stood up on just 2 legs and surrounded by cards. It shakes the cards and it's just clocked to Shiro. You've got dogs on Edward as he's attacking. Jack has been trying and he's taken one of the dogs out. So there's a pack of 3 dogs, 1 shaken, and then 2 dogs on Edward.
All right. I'm gonna take the shot at the one that Edward just tried to hit to get him off of him.
Got it.
You.
Very nice.
So a 10.
Yep, that'll be with a raise. So add a
Alright.
d6 to your roll.
The D6. Roll.
So how do you get this dog off of Edward, Sebastian?
So I'll be looking at the big guy and be like, well, I guess it doesn't work on everybody, and look over at Edward and just.
And the dog goes flying off of Edward. Edward, you're standing there, and all of a sudden the dog just gets pulled away, it looks like. And as it pulled away, we see those burning embers as it kind of fades off into the darkness. All right. Diamond versus a club. That's going to be Toshiro.
Yeah, I think I'm going to realize I might be a little outmatched one-on-one here. I'm going to see if I can sprint to keep his attention. I'm going to go back through the gate and try to get around. While I'm running, I'm going to yell, Jack, get that damn chain. Get it and do something with it. Something smart.
You start taking off Toshiro, and this thing stays on 2 legs, and it comes running right after you as well. All right, so we got go ahead.
It's still entangled.
Yeah,
right?
I guess it would be, wouldn't it? Yep. So we'll have him just spending his time trying to break free from it. So yeah, so he's not right on top of you. Good call. Good calls. All right. So the last pack of dogs, we're gonna have them attack Sebastian.
That's fair.
There is one of them needs to get unshaken though, so he's got to take a spirit roll, which it passes. So we're gonna have 3 of these dogs in succession on Sebastian. The first one.
Wow.
So the
I
first
say
one,
that hits with the raise.
what's your
I'm
parry?
glad they can only get 1 raise.
5.
5. All right, so it's 14. So that's going to be 3 raises, 2 raises.
Yeah, but I think you can only get +1 damage on
Three
wounds.
raises.
So
All right, so we'll just do the +1.
yeah,
And-
or the
all right.
plus D6 on
Right,
on
so
it.
it'll be 2d6 plus 4.
Okay.
13. What's your
Toughness
toughness?
5.
All right, so that's going to be 2 raises, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, so it's going to be shaken plus 2 wounds. Sebastian, what are we going to do about it?
I'm gonna try and
Do a soak?
soak that.
Spend the Benny?
Yep. Vigor roll. Here we go.
All right, so you soak up one of those
I
wounds.
soak 1 wound.
So you are shaken with 2 wounds left, right?
Yep.
All right. And let's see, that was 1, 2, 3. That was all, or no, that was just the first one, wasn't it?
He just rolled enough dice for all 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the second one tries.
Mhm.
Oh, good Lord. It literally the same roll. So this is going to be with a raise.
Thank you for standing in front of those.
Oh my God. And you said 5, right? So this
Yeah.
is not going to be, this is going to be,
Well.
this will be another 2 wounds.
Okay.
This would be a good roll to make. You want to Benny it?
Yeah.
Just need a 4. There it is.
Take an 8. I take an 8.
You soak both of them,
Yes.
so
I
you're
will
still
soak
at
both,
those
doesn't
2
he?
wounds. Well done, Sebastian.
Yep.
So these dogs are just on you like a pack of dogs, and you are just flailing and just getting bit. Arms just blocking, rifle trying to push them off of you. They're on top of you. We got a fresh round, gentlemen. Yep.
Real quick, I just noticed this from Donald's mentioning it. Is if he soaks all the wounds from an attack, it gets rid of his
Perfect.
shaken, even if
So
it's from a
Sebastian,
previous source.
Sebastian, you're not shaken either.
So he's
Well
not shaken
done.
anymore.
All right, so let's talk about our condition then. Sebastian's up and running with 2 wounds, not shaken. Edward, you're not shaken, right? You got all your wounds, 3?
Correct.
All right. Jack, you're good. 3 wounds,
Yep.
not shaken. Toshiro is shaken. Correct? Or did you shake that off?
I forgot to unshake on my turn. I'm sorry. I forgot to even roll for that.
Yeah, we're good. All right, so
Yeah.
Currently nobody's shaken except for one of the dogs. No, actually it cleared that. All right, 5 goes to Edward. We lose the 10. Those are some nice face cards. Our 2 packs of dogs. And then everybody's favorite, the best of 3 for the devil. He's going to take that king. Our king of clubs is going to be after the king of hearts. Toshiro, you running away from our entangled, large, bipedal mastiff.
Yeah, I'm going to. I see that Edward's in some trouble here, or not Edward. I'm sorry. I see Sebastian's in some trouble here. So I'm going to head over to him and hit one of these dogs with the whacking stick. And again, I'm going to just yell back, Jack, do something smart with that chain. Maybe the doc can help you out with something. All right, I'm gonna whack one of these guys here. Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I've only got 2 bennies left. I'm gonna leave it.
All right.
I'm gonna hold on to him.
So
I'm gonna
we're
get
gonna have
smacked real
Devil.
hard pretty soon.
Try it now to get break from entangled. Jack, Jack Donald. What do I need to do?
Strength -2 or
right.
athletics.
Okay. So he breaks from it and heads directly towards you. We're going to have that take his whole turn. He is now within the fence. So everybody's in the party now. We're all within the fence where this huge Victorian old house used to be. That takes me to the Queen of Spades. Jack.
Okay.
You see Devil break through into the yard.
Yeah. So there's something smart and there's something I'm going to do.
Okay.
I would love those lines.
So I'm going to run over, grab the collar, and then I'm hoping that this is basically 2 actions movement thing. So I want to try to collar Devil. So when I run over, grab the collar, rush over, see if I can get it around his neck.
Let's just do a straight fighting roll then.
Okay.
Is this gonna have a multi-action penalty on it? Or
No, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Cool. Fortunately, I have a D4, so I don't get the penalty for non-skilled. Almost raise.
Oh, yeah. Well, unfortunately, it's below his parry. So, Jack, I'm imagining you grabbing up this collar, and it's almost kind of. We see physically, like the body motions of Jack. You can tell he anticipated the collar to be a lot lighter than it was. So he reaches down and pulls, and then has to pull again to just lift it up. And how are you trying to get this thing on him, Jack?
So I just kind of got it grabbed and trying to go up, and it's like this doesn't quite have a normal dog's neck that it should fit on, or
He's also super duper tall, right?
Yeah. It's like you kind of get it up, go like this, kind of go like this, and then look, and then turn like this. Like, oops, wrong spot.
Love it. All right, so Jack of Hearts is going to get to go. We're going to have that be the one dog on Edward. What was your parry again, Edward?
2.
All right, so this will hit you, but without a raise, and that is going to be D6 plus 4. And what is your parry or your toughness?
My toughness is 5.
All right, so this is going to shake you, Edward.
Okey doke.
So you are now shaken, sir. That's the Jack of Hearts. We go to the Jack of Clubs. You've got dogs all over you, Sebastian.
I do. I guess I'm gonna just. I mean, I feel like a one-trick pony here, but it seems to be working. So I'm gonna try and just like rifle up under one of the dogs and pull the trigger.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. 10.
10 is going to give you a raise. So let's do the damage plus the D6.
All right. D6. Roll it.
That's going to be enough to take him out. It's going to shake him and give him a wound. So you blow one of these dogs away, and the rifle shots, we see the embers come up, and as all of this is happening, there's a moment of relief from all of you, because it seems like it's been an hour since we've seen one of these dogs go away from us. All right, that's going to take
that actually should have been at a -1. So would that take the raise away?
Nope.
Okay.
Edward.
First, I have to roll, and I
To unshake.
Spirits an 8.
You have to be Reverend Jesse.
Unshaken.
No trouble unshaking that.
And I think at this point,
You've got one dog on you.
I got one dog on me, and I think I'm going to try to shoot him away from me.
All right.
Hmm.
You're sitting there with 3 bennies, Jim. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I guess I'll spend one.
All the quartermasters are clustered together.
God, we saw a 6 for a half second there, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think a bit of Edward's what's the name of that? He's got tenderfoot as his as one of his hindrances, and I think a bit of that's starting to show, even though he hasn't gotten injured, and so he's just firing wild as he's sort of struggling with this dog.
I can imagine it's possibly panicking him a little bit. We've got 2 dogs on Sebastian. First one. Boy, they love rolling 6s on you, Sebastian.
They do.
That is
just enough for a raise.
Just enough for a raise. All right, so let's go ahead and do the bite. Which is, where is my bite? Strength plus D6 plus D4. Okay. All right, so 14 with your 5 toughness. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, so that's gonna be a shaken and 2 wounds, Sebastian.
All right. See if I can soak this. Nope. Okay.
Oh, and you're out of bennies.
Yep.
All right, so this puts you at 0 wounds. So remind me, because now I don't know what to do. I don't have my. Does this crit you? What I don't know. Don't remember what happens.
Yeah, I did roll 2 1s, so that would be a crit failure on the soak roll. I don't know if that does anything.
But what happens when you get to 0 wounds? Is it?
I think you have to hit 4 to be incapacitated. So I'm just at -3 right now. My next one, I'd be incapacitated.
Got it.
I can double check, but that's I'm
Yeah, if
pretty
you
sure
look that
that's
up, Eric, while we're
Yep.
doing it, that'd be great. I'm going to do a fresh deal. First, the 5 cards to you, gentlemen.
By the way, it looks like it's on page 95 if I'm looking right.
Okay.
Shiro with a rock and 2 of hearts. Donald with a 7 of diamonds. Not bad, Edward. You get to keep the 8. Sebastian got an ace. All right, we still have two packs, so I get 2 cards for them. There's one with 2 and one with 1 dog left. They both get deuces. That's good news. Feel like there's more high cards in the deck, though. So let's see what Devil gets. The best of 3. He's going to take that King of Hearts. All right. How are we looking, Sebastian, at 0?
I'm at -3 to everything I do, but I'm still rocking.
Gotcha. You still at a -3 to try to get that shaken off?
Yes. Yeah, it's a
So it'll be at a
D6.
vigor minus or a spirits -3.
Yeah.
Well, these 2 dogs are on you.
Okay.
All right.
I
So
do not unshake.
you do not. You are on the ground. You've got these 2 dogs on you. You're doing your best to just try to fend them off and just minimize the amount of damage that their claws and their bites are doing to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to
All
take
right.
me to Devil.
Parry 4.
So as Jack comes up with his collar, he comes up, Devil looks over and just takes his paw and just pushes you away and immediately turns to Toshiro. And he attacks Toshiro.
Boy.
He's going to
I can live with that.
DM's going to spend a penny.
I can live with that.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh.
You're still alive.
That's a little bit better. All right, all right, so he does hit
Hasn't
you.
hit
Let's go
me
ahead and do
without a
that
raise.
damage. All right, we ignore that D6. So that's going to be just the 14.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna soak because I think that is going to be
Yep.
2 wounds on me. All right.
So 1 wound. So what does that put you down
Yeah, I'll
to,
take the
Toshiro?
1 wound. Yeah.
All right, so you're shaking
That's
now
my first
and with
wound.
2 wounds, right? All right, he's going to do a second attack on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't roll the D6, but it can't get better than the 7 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Could explode.
That'll hit no raise.
I'm fine with it. That'll
Yeah.
be a hit, no raise.
He's right. It could blow up.
All right, so just the damage.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I forget that you can't change it once you start building the dice pool. Oh, interesting.
If you
Okay,
right
that's
click, it
good.
drops him down.
All right, 18, sir.
Yeah. Woof. All right.
That's gonna be. Is that 2 or 3
Try to
wounds?
soak. Last Benny.
All right, and you'll be at a -1 on
18
the
will
soak.
be 3 wounds.
No, that was Buddha.
Oh, that's right. Yep. All right. So that'll soak up 2 of them.
All right, so
I
you're
have
down to
taken
1
2
wound
wounds
now. That takes care of Devil. Devil just grabs you with his paw and just brings you in and just bites you at your shoulder. So we've got Devil there. He's got Tashiro in his mouth right now. We have got Jack standing there realizing that this collar thing may not work. We've got Edward trying to fight off the one last dog, and Sebastian is on his back. It is not looking good for our 4 heroes, so I think it's a great time to go to a 10-minute break.
Oh, no.
We'll be right back. We'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, we are back in the action. Like I said before, we have got Toshiro in the jaws of this giant bipedal devil mastiff. And we are up next with Edward. Edward, what are we going to do? 8 of diamonds.
Edward is going to take another panicked shot at this dog that's right
It's the
up in
last
his
dog of the
face.
pack that's on you.
That's cool.
There it is.
Phew.
How about some damage?
And that'll be... Oh, that's not a raise. So...
You want an 8.
Oh, shit. One of those is the wild die.
Well, either way, you're fine. Either way, you're 8.
Oh, perfect.
Right? We drop a 4. So, yeah, you're good, my friend.
Whew.
You take the last dog out. You fire the gun just frantically, and finally one of those bullets hit, and it wings off, and just the embers as it dissipates away. So we have now got Devil eating Toshiro, and then we've got 2 dogs on Sebastian. Let's go to my 7 of diamonds. Jack, you get pushed away by Devil. He has no interest in you at all. He's not, and he just has picked up Toshiro and is got him in his mouth.
Let's do another one of those not smart things. So with one hand still holding the collar, Jack starts rummaging around in a pocket, and I'm going to cast Trinkets, which is actually one of his spells, so I'm not having to deal with the devil. And let's see if it works. And that works. So he gets a small object. So he's pulling out a dog whistle that he's going to blow.
Okay. So I'd be curious, like, I always love the trappings, Jack. So
Yeah.
what is, it's not just you rummaging through your pockets and finding a dog whistle.
Well, I mean, that's that is kind of how the trinket worked, but we can expand a little bit. He's going multiple pockets and everything. It's like, I know I've got it. I know I've got it. I know I've got it. Wait. Deck. Whistle. And he pulls it out, and you see a deck kind of almost pop out of the pocket as he pulls it out and proceeds to blow it and see if he can maybe get some attention from some of these dogs that's not on the other guys.
So how do I want to do this? It's not going to affect Devil, but I do like the idea of it affecting the 2 dogs on Sebastian. What is a good way for us to think about this?
Well,
You could give them the distracted
Yeah,
penalty
so
if they like make a.
thinking here. So let's
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's make it a spirit roll, Jack.
okay,
The spirit roll will give distracted to the 2 dogs on Sebastian.
sure, that works. And by the way, that's also the same die as my persuasion if you want it, if you prefer to that. So
I'm just thinking, just pure freaking effort. All
almost
right,
a
so
raise.
beautiful. So you blow that whistle, and I'm imagining you looking at Devil, right?
Yeah,
Hoping that that's
right.
what's going to affect it. It's no impact whatsoever. But the other 2 dogs come off of Sebastian, and they're their heads are going, just reacting to the whistle, and they've now turned. They're ignoring Sebastian, and they're looking at Jack. All right, so 2 of spades is going to go first. There's only 2 of these dogs left, and they are going after you, Donald.
Okay.
First one.
But they got the penalty
They
for being
do.
distracted, right?
So that's going to be a 6, right?
-2.
Yeah, so my parry is a
Yeah.
4.
All right, so one's going to hit you.
Okay.
Let's see if the second one does. Man, these dogs are
Man, these
rolling.
dogs.
That's going to be at a 13.
This pack is
So that's going to be
serious.
with the raise.
All right, so let's do the one without a raise.
Okay.
And that is going to be...
I have a
6.
toughness of 5.
All right, so it's a D6 and a D4. All right, so that is going to shake you, Jack.
Okay.
Second one is going to be 2D6 because of the raise. And we're looking at 1 wound. Jack, do you want to soak that?
Alrighty. No, I'll take the 1 wound.
All right, so you be at a -1 with the 1 wound.
Yeah.
All right, 2 of diamonds is next. It's going to be the last pack of dog. No, that was the last pack of dogs. So it's Toshiro. You are in the grips with how many wounds left? 2 wounds?
So did I? 2 wounds left. Yeah. So did I spot that it just kind of pushed
Without question.
Jack aside?
Yeah, he's very focused. He's very
I
focused,
think
obviously,
Toshiro-
on you. And what makes you unique is that whack and stick.
Okay. Yeah. Toshiro realized that. I think spotted that, and he says, "Devil, I don't think you're a bad dog," and he's just gonna toss the whacking stick. He's just gonna toss it over towards the gate and say, "Devil, you're not a bad dog, are you?"
You throw the whack and stick.
Devil fetch.
Devil drops you. And he looks over at that whack and stick. And he walks over to it. And he kicks it. And it goes flying into the back corner of the yard. And he turns and drops to all fours and growls at you. New round. All right.
The whack and
Toshiro with an
stick.
8.
Oh, we've already met our
Queen to Jack. It's going to be a 6 to you, Edward. 10 goes away. Jack of diamonds to Sebastian. Sebastian, what is your condition right now?
I am shaken and at -3.
All right. So we're going to deal 1 card for the pack of dogs that are now distracted. And then the best of 3 for Devil.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
If you have an interrupt, feel free to use it.
And
No,
we
it's gonna
still
take-
get a Benny, is that right?
No, he gets a Benny.
Oh, swell.
Nope.
That's fine.
So
Yep.
Devil is going to take advantage of that Joker. He's going to be at a +2. I'm going to roll a D4 to see who he attacks. Toshiro's a 1, Jack's a 2, Edward's a 3, Sebastian's a 4. Explodes. We're going to take the 4. So he comes up on Sebastian. And Sebastian, he comes up on you and immediately knocks the 2 dogs away that are on top of you. That is going to be with a raise.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be oh my goodness. 34 damage.
Well, the good news is I'm just incapacitated.
Wow.
He comes down, he knocks those dogs away, Sebastian.
Mhm.
Comes down and picks you right up at the torso. Lifts you up, your rifle falls away, and just shakes you like you're a snake he just pulled out of the garden. And we just see Sebastian's body flail, and then he tosses you. And you go, we see Sebastian's body fly over the fence into the grasslands. That takes me to Jack at the Queen of Diamonds.
Well, one of these times it has to work. So since I've still got the collar, I'm going to run up and try to collar him again.
All right.
And I'll spend a Benny to re-roll.
That's going to put just so everybody watching the Benny situation is Donald's at 2, Jim's at 2, and Eric is at 0, and so is Corey.
And Craig, you
Not
should
that
have
bad.
4 because you gain a Benny.
Correct. I do need to gain 1, don't I? All right. So Donald, you rolled a 5, which is below his parry. Actually, what you know what? I'm going to narrate this, and tell me if you're not okay with it, Donald.
Sure.
I'm imagining you taking that collar after seeing Sebastian getting tossed, and I'm imagining you running with that collar, and just right before you get to him, the chain goes taut on the spike, and it comes
Sure,
short. And
of
you're
course.
and so he's got his back to you. He doesn't see any of this happening because he just tossed Sebastian.
Right.
Be okay with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sebastian, you are in the grass, laying there in bad shape. With you being incapacitated, what happens next?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I have to make a vigor roll.
And this is one that you want to make. You want to get a 4 or higher on, I think, right? Like
Yep.
you really want to.
Oh, crap. One second. Let me get this pulled up real quick.
And make sure you choose the wild.
Yeah.
You're at a -3.
Yep.
Out of Benny's.
Yep. All right. So my vigor is a D6. Nope.
So now what
that's
happens?
Oh no!
failure. So roll on the injury table. The injury is permanent and the character is bleeding out.
All right. So if somebody could, Donald, do you think you can bring up that injury table?
Yeah, I've actually already got it up.
I got
Great.
it up right here.
What's he roll?
So it's a 2d6.
All right.
You want me to roll that?
I do.
All righty. All right, so that is a 5.
So that's guts. So you need to roll another d6.
All right.
Guess you roll another-
Busted guts, strength reduced to die type. All right.
And then you're bleeding, right?
Yep.
Bleeding out and bleeding out. What happens with bleeding out? I can't remember off the top of my head.
The injured character is dying and must make a vigor roll at the start of his turn. Failure means he perishes. With success, he survives, but must roll again next turn.
Got it.
With a
Until
raise, he stabilizes.
Yeah. Or you can get medical attention. Can also stop the bleeding out. Right? A correct
Yep.
successful
Right.
medic roll. All right. So that brings me to Toshiro. Toshiro, he drops you. You're on the ground.
So, I think I'm going to see that Jack is at the end of the chain. I'm going to remember that we did loop it through that spike a second time. And I'm going to run over and unhook it and try to grab the collar and put it on
All right.
Devil myself.
So yeah,
I
it'll be
don't
a
know if that's a
-2
multi-action
on your
penalty or-
fighting roll.
Yep, and then another minus what? Through I've got 1 wound, so
-3 all day.
total of -3. Really hoping that something explodes on here. Oh. Oh. Oh.
You beat his
Oh.
parry. So
Oh.
Toshiro, you come over, you yank that spike out, and actually, I think the chain becoming not taut causes for a second for Jack to kind of release the chain, and in one smooth action, you come and you grab that collar midair, and you come up and you clamp it right around Devil's neck, and your hands burn. You pull off as your hands burn, and the smoke comes off your hands as you can see the collar just burn away. And like a wick on dynamite, the chain burns away to the spike. And Devil stands back up again and turns to you and Jack and Edward. You can?
Can I say one thing? I said you're not a bad dog. You're the worst dog.
Edward, a lot has happened. You saw Sebastian get tossed into the grasslands. We see Toshiro and Jack trying to put this collar on, and finally that collar burns away like a wick on a candle.
And as far as beyond Devil, we still have
Two dogs.
two dogs.
Two dogs that got knocked to the side by Devil, so he could get to Sebastian.
I think that Edward is going to make every effort to head towards Sebastian and see if he can't check on him.
So, Edward, I'm going to let you jump that fence. And Edward's right on the other side of that fence, right in the grasslands. Let's see if you can't stop that bleeding out.
And if I have to take a multi-action penalty, I can probably do that.
It'll be at a -2.
All right, so I'm a D8 for healing at -2.
Make sure you have that wild.
And I've got the wild. But that's not going to get it done. So I'm going to spend a Benny and try again.
I put you one Benny left.
You want up or we want to reset?
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
what do you see when you get there, Edward?
I'm thinking that I see the bloody mess that is all of these, dog bites and tossed over fences and I don't think it's a panicking thing, but definitely there's wounds that he hasn't seen or more wounds than he can rightly take care of immediately.
Last two dogs coming after you, Jack. Here's the first one.
Nope, parry 4.
And here's the second one. All right, not enough
That's a
for a
raise.
raise, though.
Man, Craig, you gotta stop
I
rolling.
know,
for
I'll
these
tell you what.
dogs.
But,
All right.
nope, I
so-
have parry 4, so that should be a raise.
Oh, it is a raise. Yep. So it'll be an extra D6. So this is going to be 2D6 plus 4. Second dog, you're able to dodge. But the next dog gets to you and does 11. What's your toughness?
Toughness is 5.
All right. So it's going to be just one raise. So it's going to be a shake and a raise, Jack.
Okay. So that's just a shaken, or is that shaken and a wound?
That's going to be a shake and a wound. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
You want to try to soak that?
Yeah, that I'll try to soak. And we said that was a vigor.
Yep.
It's a D6 minus 1 for the one wound I already have. And that shake.
Nice. And you
does
get rid
it.
of the shaken too.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. So you are not shaken. New round, gentlemen. 5 cards. Oh, I saw some
We'll
jokers
use
in there.
Joker right now.
We got an ace for Toshiro. The joker for Donald. Let's add those bennies. An ace or a 4 for Edward. Unfortunately, it's a
Oh.
4. But an ace for Sebastian.
It's
All right,
not
let's-
exactly the best.
I was kind of hoping he would go after me so I get another chance to
Yeah, that's
heal him before he rolled his vigor at -3.
All right,
But,
so
but
all
the
right,
important part of your ace, Sebastian, is that Devil didn't get it.
That is true.
That's a fair point.
here's the 3 for Devil. Oh, best he got was the 6 of diamonds. Would have been a lot worse. Jack, you're at a +2. And you can go whenever you want. So I'm either going to go to Sebastian unless you take over.
Sure. I'll go ahead and go.
Okay.
I'm going to try my good old-fashioned bolt into one of the dogs. And you said I'm at a +2, correct?
+2. And then how many wounds you got? None?
I've got 1. I've
All
got
right,
1
so that'll
wound,
be-
so I'm
you'll end up at a
+1 then.
+1.
Okay. Oh, it was so close.
It was. Now you're sitting down. You got 2 bennies.
Yeah, probably going to hurt myself for this, but let me go ahead and respend it. Okay. So that reroll is just enough for me to get a regular, which is 2d6.
Yep.
Turn off the wild before I
You
roll
want to
that.
get an 8. Very, very nice. That's a shaken and a wounds, which takes out one of the dogs. So the card goes flying through. We are left with one dog left. All right, so Ace of Hearts. Toshiro. You tell him he's a bad dog.
After throwing away the closest weapon.
Oh boy. All right, I got one more dumb idea, Jack. Got one
Okay.
real dumb idea. You're not gonna like this.
Mhm.
I'm gonna grab my spear or my naginata that was leaned up against the fence, and I'm gonna rush at the whacking stick with the aim to
Okay.
destroy it.
So you
I hate this plan. I hate this plan.
just
I
saw
hate
the
this
look on
plan so
everybody.
much.
Toshiro, you grab that you grab your naginata and you like a knight on the back of a horse in a joust match. Just run towards the whacking stick, which is kind of leaned up against the corner of the fence. And give me a strength roll if you would.
All right.
And you're at -1 or -2?
I should be at -2.
All right.
Yeah, so that's gonna fail.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and
save the
pitch
Benny.
Benny.
Put the Benny back. Yep.
Save the Benny. Okay.
Your spear shatters when it hits the whacking stick.
Well, can't say I was expecting that.
Bastion.
That was my signature weapon too.
I need an
Guess I got
exploding
a good
bigger roll
stick
from
now.
you, Sebastian, at -3.
Yup.
Let's get to a 4, buddy. Is that the end of Sebastian? Oh, he's got a Betty. I forgot about the Betty.
Yeah.
One 6. That's all we need, Sebastian. Oh, son of a biscuit.
So I'm gonna just look up at Edward and go, Doc, use the stick. I'll see you down the trail.
Oh, no.
No.
We go to Devil. Devil, he sees you, Toshiro, on that stick, and he is on you.
Oh. Well, the good news is my parry is a 7 now, but he still hits me
7
with a
plus,
raise.
yeah, just add a raise, right? All right, so that is going
Yep.
to be 2d12 plus the 6 for the raise. Boy, that could have been a lot worse.
So that's
Yep.
just gonna shake me.
So that
actually.
shakes you as he comes on top of you and just slams you into the corner of the fencing. The fencing breaks away as you slam up against it, and you are shaken. Edward, the dying words of Sebastian, and you see him close his eyes, and you have held a man as he's died before in your arms.
Oh. How far is from, because I'm at the front yard, right? And now the
You're
whacking
outside the
stick-
fence. Yeah.
right of the front of the fence, right? The front gate, and everything else is now across the yard. Is that
Kind
right?
of in the back corner of the yard. Yep.
Well, that's a long way. I feel like now, and there's still one more dog
There's one.
here with Jack.
We
Right.
have one. We have one more dog that's attacking Jack.
Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start heading my way that way, and I will take a wild shot at that dog on my way that away.
Let's do it. You're at
Uh,
full wounds, or have you lost a
I
wound?
am fully healthy, but I assume I'm gonna take for making some portion of the distance as a walk action.
Let's just do it as a -1.
Okie doke.
Which is enough for you to miss.
It certainly is. And I'm not going to spend one of my bennies on that because shooting is not my forte.
All right, so our last dog is going to try to take a bite out of Jack. What's your parry, Jack?
I think it's a 4 exactly.
All
It
right,
was
so,
okay. Yep, parry's a 4.
all right, so that is going to be
Guys, on your taking a fighting die.
2d6 plus 4.
I know, but
Wait, it's not 2d6, is it? Because that's with a raise.
So I need to subtract 6. Let me just re-roll it.
Or is it?
All right, so 7. What's your toughness, Don?
Toughness
No.
is a 5.
All right, so that's going to shake you
Yeah.
as he comes on top of you. And now I'm imagining he's like literally on you, right? So his paws are up on your chest and he's upright on you, snapping at you, attacking you. Fresh round. This time I only do 4 cards.
Did we shuffle because of the Joker?
Oh, we did not. Let's reset and shuffle. Good call, Jim. 4 cards. Jack to Toshiro. A deuce to Jack. A 10 or a king. A 10 to Edward. The king goes away. Our one lone dog. I'm going to go ahead and deal 4 cards. The first card is going to be to the lone dog. First, he gets a queen, and the Jack of Diamonds is what Devil's going to take. So that puts the one single dog on Jack is going to take the first attack. He's on top of you, Jack.
Okay.
Snapping away. That is a hit, correct?
Yes. But
What's
that
your
does not beat my toughness. It's a 5.
Very nice. So it is just a struggle. You are just moving just enough to stay out of his bites as he is just snapping at you. All right, that's going to take me to Jack of Diamonds. He is after you, Toshiro.
I got my parry of 7.
Wow.
Unbelievable. They both exploded.
Oh,
So that's going to end up being 13, which is 3 raises.
Yeah, it still only gets to do the 1 extra die damage, thankfully.
Let's see, strength that plus the extra D6.
Oh, well, at least that 12 didn't blow up. So that's going to be 2 raises on me. So I'm going to go ahead and try to soak that.
So that's 3 wounds, right?
That would be no, just 2. Oh, I was shaken. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to say 2 of those. So I have taken, this will
Okay.
be my 3rd wound that I've taken.
So you are now at -3, and we go to you, Toshiro, as he's now on top of you. He is now right on top of you. You're right there. The whacking stick is within arm's reach. If you want to give that a try. Yep.
Well,
Let's
first
make
I got
that
to
happen.
unshake here.
Nicely done.
So you're not
All
shaking.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm grabbing that whacking
right, so it's
stick
gonna
and
be
he's
fighting
getting a
-3.
whack. Yep.
Oh,
All right, come on, something.
Whoa!
Oh! Oh!
All right, so
Oh!
his parry is 8, so it's 2 raises. So it's going to
Okay,
be,
So
what's your
let me
strength?
turn off the ace here.
So
It's a
so it's going to be
D6.
4d6,
So I get D6 for my strength.
right?
Okay, let's go ahead and. Yep. Wait, why
That's
did
right.
it?
We're
I left wild
no,
on.
no,
I'm
just gets rid
sorry.
of the
Let me
1.
reroll
The
that.
14 is right.
Put the ace on. So well, but there was a 6
Yeah.
in there, so that's going to need to. That'll explode. So I'll roll that. I'll roll one more die.
Oh, didn't explode, or did you not have the ace on?
Yeah, I
Got it. All right,
I
so you're at
screwed up and hit wild
17
instead of ace.
damage
So
to
17
his.
damage
All right,
total.
so that's going to be 10. So that's going to be with 2 raises.
Yep.
All right, I spend a Benny. Let's try to soak that with his. Where is he? Vigor. Oh, he fails. So that's gonna be 2 wounds, and he. Go
I
ahead.
hate to be that guy who says everybody who tells the teacher that we got homework, but doesn't he get a
Oh, he
D6?
does get an extra D6. You're right.
Oh, we lost.
I thought you were going to tell him that he could spend
All right,
another
so he
penny
does
to
soak.
re-roll that.
All right, so he's still shaken, and he still takes a wound. So Tashir, you got him on top. He's on top of you.
Oh man.
And your hand reaches, you can't see, and you feel that whacking stick, and you just go like this up against his head, and it hits him. And unlike the bullet from Sebastian, unlike the collar, unlike everything, you see his face go, and you knock him off onto his side as he falls to the side. He is shaken and has 2 wounds left. What are we doing, Doc? You're in the corner right there with him.
Well,
You still got 1 dog left.
Unfortunately, I'm out of bullets. But fortunately, Sebastian handed me a speed loader. So I'm going to spend my first action to reload my pistol. And then I think I'm going to take a shot at big- the big dog monster and see if maybe I can be a bit of a distraction for him.
Okay.
And that'll be this at -2.
It'll be at -2.
I am in full laid back
Ugh.
position. Slight 15 or 20 degree angle.
And I'm not going to spend a penny on that
We're
roll.
not going to spend that Benny. Jack, you got a dog right on top of you. He's literally on top of you, though you're both standing.
So first I've got to roll for the shaken.
Yep.
So I'm not going to spend my last penny on the shaken. So I stay. So I basically am just trying to. I think I can move, and that's it. So
Yeah, I'm just imagining you just continue
yeah.
to wrestle with him, right, Jack?
pretty much, I'm trying to back up, but he's probably leaning on me. So as I back up, he moves with me.
Yep. All right, so let's do 4 cards. Queen of Diamonds to Jashiro. That's good. Good. 6 of clubs, Jack. 5 of hearts to Edward. The 6 of diamonds goes away. I'm going to deal 4 cards. The first one goes to our last remaining minion dog. Very nice. 4 of diamonds. The devil. Tashiro, you knocked for the first time since earlier this evening, and now you have hurt Devil and knocked him to his side with that whacking stick.
Oh man. Hey Jack, can you distract this thing with some of your cards?
I'll see what I can do.
All right. I'm not in great shape right now, fellas, but I'm gonna keep whacking. So I'll hit him with the stick, hoping for some explosions here.
Got what you asked for. Unfortunately, his parry is 8. And you are out of
Okay.
bennies.
I'm out of bennies.
That takes me to the 6 of hearts, which is the dog that's on you, Jack. You are still shaken.
Yes,
That is a hit, I believe,
that is.
but no raise.
Right. Toughness 5, no damage.
Oh, just you are in a battle. Just go. You can't hurt each other. You guys are just having a hell of a dog fight. All right, that takes me to the 6 of clubs. That's you, Jack.
Okay, that's me. So I'm going to spend that last penny, and I'm going to bridge shuffle again. Oh, no, wait, I have to shake first. I'm sorry.
Yep. So we'll save
So-
that Benny. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're at minus what on this?
Oh, I forgot to include that. 1 sec.
We'll just subtract it from the 5.
Yeah. I think I'm just at -1.
That's what I remember too.
So,
is that you still
yeah.
have 2 wounds. So you are unshaken
Right.
with 2 wounds left.
So then I'll spend the
You
Benny,
spend the Benny. Yep.
and we're going to deal with the devil to try to entangle devil again.
All right. And this be remember to be a -1,
Oh.
Jack.
Sorry.
That's
I
all
hit
right.
it before I did. So just got it. So I get 6 cards,
All right. Let's deal those out.
and I've already put the -1 in, so I don't forget a third time in a row.
Okay. 6 cards. What do we get, Jack? We got a 5. We got a 10. A 7. A Jack. There's
Yes.
our ace high. Pair of 10s.
Pair of 10s gives it to me.
Oh,
All I
pair of
needed
10s.
was an ace high, I believe.
All right.
So entangle, yeah. All I needed was the ace high. So roll the spell casting. Do not get it. The cards go flying. They just kind of splay on devil like he's figured out this trick.
So I'm imagining they swirl
Yeah.
around him, Jack. But you just can't constrain it, right? You're just not
Right.
able to pull them in close. So as they're spinning, and they
Yeah.
just fall down. Edward.
Oh. That's
We
what
shoot
I'm
that last
thinking is
dog.
that, it seems like Jack's been preoccupied with this dog and is now trying to go that way. And I feel like I might want to try to help get that dog off of him. And so I will attempt to take a shot at the dog on Jack.
And you are at a negative?
Am I at a negative?
I can't remember if you've been wounded. I don't think you've been wounded, have you?
No one has wounded me.
All right, so you're not at a negative.
I've been thus far out of the major fracases.
So that is going to be with a raise.
Oh wait, let's undo those because I am not wild on this. So it'll be 3.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm gonna ask Jim's permission to narrate this.
Sure, go for it.
So you see Devil knocked to the side. You see him standing up. You've got the dying words of Sebastian in your head and realizing that Sebastian knew all along. It's the stick. It's the whacking stick. You hear the yelping dog on Jack, and with a smoothness and a confidence that comes from nowhere, maybe Sebastian's on your shoulder. You turn that gun and start aiming it without even looking. And at the last second, you look and fire. And you hit that dog, and that dog comes off of Jack and just smolders away. Like a gunslinger like you've never seen. Here comes the biggie, though. And this is the attack on Toshiro. Oh, that's right. He
He's
does.
gotta
He
unshake
does.
first.
I should at this point know his vigor is 8.
Spirit.
Oh, it's spirit.
It's his
Sorry.
spirit, though.
It's probably
His
still
spirit is
8.
10.
Oh, let's roll the 8.
Oh, what?
Yes, he's
Minus
at
one. Minus one. He's wounded.
You ready?
Oh,
I'm not ready.
No, but go ahead.
no.
All right. He shakes.
Ah.
He attacks. Toshiro.
He misses with that one.
He does. He's going to spend the Benny.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a miss.
So Toshiro, he's standing there. The cards are swirling around. He chomps at you once, and I'm imagining you rolling away, and then he immediately goes to leap on you again. And how do you get away from him as he's leaping down on top of you?
I think, honestly,
Oh, I love
I'd
it. You go
dive
right under his
between
legs. Two of diamonds to Toshiro, less than ideal. We got the queen of clubs to Jack, and we've got a 4 that Jim has to take. He can't take that king because of his hindrance. We've only got 3 cards left because there is no other dog. It is just a king of
Just an ace.
ace of clubs.
It's
Well, the ace and the king wouldn't
Either
have made
way,
a
he's
difference,
going
Yeah.
first.
but at least it's not a joker.
Fight and roll against Toshiro as it slips through, as Toshiro slips through his legs.
Oh my goodness.
That's no.
That's gonna be a 13 against your parry of
My parry is
6. So that's gonna be 4.
6.
So that is only gonna be 1 raise.
Yeah.
Get rid of the wild die.
Oof.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm incapacitated.
Yeah. He does the same thing to Shiro. He picks you up with his claws and he starts shaking you. But here's something we haven't had a chance to do. You get a free shooting roll to throw that whacking stick to somebody else. Yep.
Free shooting roll, huh? Well, that's funny because I don't have shooting.
Do you have athletics?
You can still roll shooting without.
do have
Let's do athletics. Don't forget your wild die.
Yeah.
You're still
All
at
right,
-3.
but I still at -3.
Who are you throwing it to first?
All right, I'm gonna try to attach
All right.
Jack. It's going to Jack
I'm,
for sure.
I'm deeply insulted. I
sorry,
had a plan for this.
Sorry, Edward.
So
No.
you throw it. It falls short of Jack. Jack, it falls at your feet.
Okay.
We're going, but you are up, my friend.
Yep. So I'll grab it and I'll charge the beast and
All right.
see how horrid I do.
Are you still shaking though?
No, I did it the last time because otherwise I
you-
wouldn't be able to spend the
That's right.
penny for the entangled.
That's right. That's right. So you're at a -1.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Nope.
You take a swing. You are not able to hit him
Yeah.
with that whacking stick. Edward.
So firstly, I would like to head to Shiro and try to stabilize him.
All right. Let's stabilize him.
So, do I need
Nope.
to make that vigor roll now, or
Nope.
I don't know exactly how
Until
this
it's your
works.
turn.
Okay.
Does he not? He has to make the one for being incapacitated first, right?
Is that immediate?
He makes an immediate vigor roll,
Got it.
and then it deals with like if he fails, he has the injury table and
Okay.
Got it. You're
is
right. You're right.
permanent and
Yep,
goes
so
away.
let's do the vigor
etc.,
roll
etc.
first. -3.
Is
-3.
that -3 or -4? Okay.
That was a good one to explode on, my friend.
All right. So
So that just leaves
Pass
you a
the
bleeding
raise,
out, I
yes.
think.
Says,
Right? No crit.
with a raise, you roll on the injury table. The injury goes away in 24 hours, or when all wounds are healed, whichever is sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you're not bleeding out.
No, you don't get bleeding out unless you fail.
That's huge.
So
okay.
Yep.
So 2d6. Got an 8.
8's is guts. So you need to roll another d6.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that.
3 is battered. Vigor reduced to die type to minimum of d4.
All right. So drop your vigor by 1,
Okay.
but you're not bleeding out, so that's good. So Edward can heal you at this point.
The time it takes to do that is super long, though.
Oh, is it?
So I think I'm still gonna head over there. Because I would suggest that I wouldn't have known that he's not bleeding out after
Sure.
seeing someone thrown over that fence.
Yep.
And as I get there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my edge that is Jack of all trades, and I'm gonna remember all of the things that I've seen Toshiro do in terms of fighting, and I'm gonna try to pick up his fighting skill, and I'm gonna then take his sword.
Pretty awesome.
Jack of all trades is a smarts roll, and I can gain a D4 if I succeed and a D6 in a skill on a raise.
Oh.
And
what?
I have a D10 in smarts, so we're gonna try to pick up fighting from watching Toshiro. So I got a success.
No raise.
No raise, so I now have a D4 in fighting.
Very nice.
And I will draw his sword from his sheath. And am I gonna try to use it? That's like another action at a -2. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go try to move. I'm gonna move towards him and not take that third action to do that.
Yep.
So I'm gonna move to engage the giant wolf monster.
All right. So now that Toshiro's incapacitated, but he's not bleeding out. So that means he just needs to get rid of the shaken, right? Just needs to do the vigor.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Characters
just
cannot
out.
take actions and might be unconscious. The victim makes a vigor roll each day after and is no longer incapacitated. If successful, they may also heal wounds during this time.
All right. So you're out for this fight, Toshiro.
Mm-hmm.
Can Jack and Edward do this?
Only one of us has the whacking stick. So
Jack has the whacking stick. This is big. Can he get higher than an 8? Yes, he can.
No.
He's going to be at a +2 as he's after Jack with the whacking stick.
Oh, no. Well, at least it's only a +1, essentially.
I like that optimism.
What's your parry?
My parry is exactly a 4.
Oh, no. Okay.
If you had not had the Joker.
The whack and stick does defensive bonus, does it?
What's 18 do, Jack?
I have toughness 5, so that's 13. So that's going to be 3 raises.
3 raises. You have no bennies left, so that incapacitates you as well, does it not?
Yes.
Let's get that vigor roll. -3.
Just double check what my vigor is real quick. Vigor's a 6. Do not make it, so I am bleeding out.
What's better for you right now, Jack? To do an athletics or a shooting roll?
For me, Athletics.
Let's do that at a -3 to try to toss that whack and stick to Edward.
Got it.
You're in his mouth. He's lifted up. Jack's limp body is there, and just an
So-
underhanded toss.
So what I will say,
ahead.
what I'm picturing is I'm basically, as I'm falling backwards, I'm just kind of tossing it in the air. Edward lets go of the katana and grabs the whacking stick.
Love it.
Snatches it right out of the air, right?
Edward with your D4 and fighting.
Jack needs to roll on the injury table also.
Oh yeah, let's roll that on that injury table, Jack.
Oh my goodness. A small part of me wants to try
Seven.
to stabilize
That's
you, but that
another
seems like a
one.
really bad idea right now.
Nope, then you'll
That
just
was
get
a
eaten.
7 and a 4, and if I remember correctly, the 7 was that's guts. A 4
Yeah.
is battered. I lose vigor.
Yep.
So it's me with my D4 in fighting.
It is.
Yep.
It's smashing. I can't.
You got two
Do
bennies.
you have two
You
bennies?
got 2 bennies, and you got that crazy luck
we
that
go.
you've had.
Hey, Eric, your camera's. Oh, never mind. You're good.
Insane luck.
That's not enough, is it?
That's not gonna
One
do it.
short.
He's got a
One
he's got a
short.
parry of an
I
8.
can't spend a Benny on that,
Oh
can I?
no!
I don't
Yeah, you
think I
can.
can.
Yeah, it's
mean,
an attack roll.
I physically can, but I don't
You
think that's
can.
the best use of that Benny.
You've got 2 left.
Yeah,
What?
'Cause I feel like
you've got 2 left,
Oh.
and what is the likelihood of him hitting you before you get to go again next turn? He gets 3 and picks high. You get 2 and pick low.
I got it.
all right.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Oh boy! Oh!
Oh,
remember that when he gets to swing twice.
yeah.
Oh! You can use your
Remember
last
that when he-
penny.
No, I'm not going to re-roll that again with another
All
Benny.
right, so I'm going to deal 5 cards. The first 2 go to
Oh.
Edward. Or no, you still get a card, Jack.
Don't forget to shuffle.
Yeah.
I did. I
Did
shuffled.
you,
Okay,
Okay.
because I really need that Joker.
The queen goes to Jack. You get the worst of the 3. The 3 of hearts is
Sweet.
worse.
Doesn't Tashir get one too? Because he's incapacitated like I am.
He can't do anything, right?
Oh, that's right.
Well, but I'm not bleeding out.
And then here is our king of spades. For the first time, Mass Devil turns and notices you, Edward.
This will be fine.
He comes at you. What's your parry? Or what's your parry?
Two is my parry.
2. So that's with.
Oh, wait.
That's
So
with the
does my
raise.
parry change with the actual gain of fighting? It's a 4 now.
I would assume it is a 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's part of fighting.
He's still got a raise.
He does still have a raise. Oof. 16, my
what's your
toughness,
toughness?
is 5.
So it's 11. So that's going to be 2 raises. So that's going to be a shaken and 2 raises.
All right, so I'm going to have to spend that Benny. And make a vigor roll. Is that right?
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, at the -1,
Mhm.
right?
The
No, not
minuses
yet.
don't count
Yep.
yet.
No,
Yeah.
Come on, Edward.
he hasn't taken any
My
wounds yet.
vigor is D6. Whew.
So it's just going to be 1 wound. But you are still shaken.
So he's gonna take a wound. That's bad news. That's bad
Jack,
news.
Jack needs to make a vigor roll. He's bleeding out, right?
Yep.
-3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me turn on. I forgot to turn on the wall die. So
It's all right. Throw your D6 in there.
yeah, that off.
It's going to be higher than a 1, or no, can't be worse than a 1.
Yeah. No.
Ugh.
So Jack
me the
is
end.
down.
Jack is more than down, right?
Yeah, Jack.
Jack
I
is
mean,
dead.
yeah, Jack is dead. Down, down.
Talk to me, Jack. What's that look like?
He's sitting there and he's like trying really hard. He goes, "Well, the house always wins," and as he passes away.
Edward.
So at this point, I think Edward is a bit of a disaster. As I mentioned, Edward has the tenderfoot hindrance. So when he's injured, he gets an additional -1.
Yep.
So
You're at -2.
I'm now at -2.
All right, so let's
so-
get rid of that shaking. Spirit roll, baby.
So he's gonna have to take a spirit roll. And his spirit's a D8 -2. Does not get that. He has no Betty to spend.
Oh,
So
boy.
he's done.
5 cards.
Ugh.
Oh. That's a deuce for Edward
Ugh.
and a higher than a deuce.
Roll bad wolf monster.
Oh,
Roll bad wolf
oh,
monster.
Devil's not going
No.
to take the 3 to rub it in.
Yeah, right. The devil comes
Oh,
after
no.
Edward, who's just standing there, hands shaking as he's holding that whacking stick. He hits you.
No raise.
No raise,
No
though.
raise.
That's a lot.
That's 16, so that is going to be -5. It's
raises?
11. That's two wounds.
So that will take me to 3 wounds.
Does that incapacitate
No,
you?
wait. Yes,
No,
because
that's because
you were shaking.
one
He was
because I was
shaking.
already shaken.
Yep.
Right.
So yes, that will incapacitate me.
Let's see the
So
roll
you're gonna make me roll my 2d6
at -4. Tenderfoot.
Oh yes. Oh wait, this is a vigor roll, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
at -4. It should be fine. It could explode 3 or 4 times. It did not.
It didn't, but it could.
So Edward, as he has you in his maw, you drop the whacking stick.
Oh.
So is this the point where he rolls on the 2d6 injury
Oh,
table?
do I need to
Oh, yeah.
roll on this? I'll do that
I was
too.
already killing you.
I don't know what that is.
12.
12. 12 is head. A grievous injury to the head. Roll 1d6.
Oh no.
Awesome.
Brain damage. Massive trauma to the head. Smarts reduced 1 die type. A minimum of d4.
Oh.
After
Oh.
biting at your head, Edward, devil drops you. He looks over. He sees the whacking stick is out of your hand. Looks over at Jack. To Shiro. We see him run and lob over. And he goes and smell Sebastian. And then he takes off. Runs off into the grass and vanishes. The camera comes back. Goes to each one of you. And then pans up. The fence is gone. The 4 buildings are gone. The road's gone. And just as the sky starts to fill with the rising sun, we see 2 wagons approaching. The wagons come up. The man driving the one wagon goes, whoa, 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 pulls on the horse. He turns and he says, Sarah, stay in the back. Hand me my rifle. We see a hand reach out and hand him the rifle. The other wagon comes up. The man steps out. He's got a simple hat on, simple clothes, early 20s. He's got his rifle and he walks up and he sees Toshiro's body, Jack's body, and Edward's body. Pulls his gun up, looking everywhere, scanning the horizon. Gus, get your rifle. The man in the other wagon hops out, comes up. Harvey, what you think's going on here? I don't know, Gus. Don't look right, though. I gotta say, though, this land looks good. Maybe we can go back to that forest, get us some logs, and maybe start a town here. I definitely think we should do that. Hey, Sarah. Woman steps out of the wagon, and she's pregnant. Sarah, you think this is a good place to raise a kid? I do, Harvey. That's it, Gus. Let's start us a new town. Let's build it here. We'll cut to credits. We'll be back on the other side. So the Nick Westbrook got my first character death on the Third Floor Wars live stream. These four gentlemen get the honor of the first TPK.
Yeah.
Twice.
So I'm going to start off. That was a ton of fun.
Oh,
The
yeah.
four of you did
Yeah.
a great job. I felt the characters. I felt what's tough in a one shot is it seems like it takes time to get into the characters. All four of you jumped right in and got it. The thought of Edward saving everybody at the end, I loved. It didn't happen, but I was like, oh,
It was
this
gonna be
could
great.
happen, and it didn't. I guess, well, first of all, did the ending make any sense? Did we know who that was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured Gus would make it clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember Gus.
Yeah. Oh no, I was sitting there going, yeah, I bet one of them's going to want a glass of whiskey first.
I'll get started
So-
on that floor.
Yeah, so
After
that
I
was
finish this
of
whiskey.
course Harvey Todd the father, much younger
Yeah.
though, and then his wife Sarah, and then of course we assume that that's Lindsay in her belly.
Yeah.
So Sidewinder, Sidewinder's comment is, I think these people need a little bit more info before setting up shop here. Just saying. Well, the worst part, Sidewinder, is we know how their story ends. Don't we?
Right.
You know, I want to start with you, Donald. You know, after three episodes, what are your thoughts?
I like the system. I mean, I think it's one of those where it's simplistic enough mechanically that you can get to it very quickly.
Yep.
You know, we've talked about a lot of different games that we've all played, and there's some games where you can't you feel like you can go to a convention and you can just sit down and play, and then there's some games that you feel like if you've never played it before, as long as somebody's there to show you the ropes, and there's some games you should never start at a convention just because a convention game you don't have time to be flipping through the books all the time.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that this is one of those convention. I know this is a convention module, but I also see the system being a convention game. And to be honest, I was actually partially because convention now. Savage Worlds may be different. I'm used to society play where you're playing your same character. I was kind of expecting after we all died that with the pan out, we'd wake up the next morning. And
I
if
thought we
that
were going
happened,
to be on the road again.
yeah, that's exactly. I thought we basically just had a giant nightmare type thing.
We were all on the train.
Oh.
If one of you had survived,
Yeah.
if one of
Nobody
you
caught
had
cheating.
killed Devil, what would have happened is the four of you would have woken up morning, stood up, blood all over you, like before,
Yeah.
right? But fully healed and everything. But I had the same ending. I had the two wagons showing up. The difference would be is you guys would be there.
Yeah.
Right when those wagons showed up. And I would have, as soon as Harvey Todd introduced himself to you, that's when I would have cut to black.
Yeah.
So,
But
which
yeah.
is not how the module ends. The module is a little bit different than that. But I thought it would be far more interesting because I was like, well, do I make this all happening in the past? Right. So I was trying to figure out how do I make this? What do I do with this? Right. When is this happening? And, you know, if you kill Devil, then Lindsay shows up and she walks up to you and says, I'm tired of sleeping. I think I'm going to wake up now.
Hmm.
And then, then you wake up. Right. So this is all her.
Yeah.
After she got bit by Devil, she basically took this town into this place and did it because she'd hoped that you would save them.
Yeah. I will say that, you know, so I liked my character. I liked playing a huckster.
Yeah.
I can see that balance of choosing the proper spells, but still having the ability to do the deal with the devil. You know, so yeah, you know, overall, I had a lot of fun.
It's a real neat take on a mage.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it thematically. Do you think if you were to make another huckster that you would flex out to anything else? Like, so if, because I think there's a chance that we could play Deadlands again, and I would like for the four of you guys to do it with me.
Yeah.
And let's say you were to make another huckster, Jack or Donald, what would you do different?
To be honest, I'd probably try to find a way to get Entangling because that really felt, you know, Jack felt more like a support character. Now, partially that was because I had a D4 in fighting. I didn't have shooting. You know, he was designed to be a face, and you know, a social character, not to stand up in a fight.
Yep.
And so, so I think that would have been a big tweak I would have made, was kind of in which spells I picked, was the main thing. But I still like that idea of the huckster being the social character because that's where they're designed to be, is in the saloon, playing cards, getting the information, not in the middle of a town where nobody gambles and there's giant creatures.
So if we do this again, Donald, would you make another huckster, or would you think a different tune?
So I'm a gap filler, meaning that if we did this again, if someone else wanted to play a huckster, I'd be more than happy to play a different character.
Got it.
But if the slot was open, I would definitely consider it again.
Gotcha. How about you, Corey? Thoughts on the system, on the module, the adventure, just the whole experience?
Yeah, no, I mean, I loved it. I think we've talked about this offline more than we have in this, but I have extensive experience with Deadlands. But it's all with the classic system. And I'm obsessed with the system, the setting. And I thought this module was great. It definitely was clear that it was a convention one because it definitely ramps up the difficulty right at the end. I really like the Savage World system compared to the original for ease of use. The old system is very crunchy, and honestly, if I hadn't started with it, I probably would be playing Savage Worlds. But I love but it's a really good system, and the setting is great.
Yeah, I think the streamlining that Shane did, because obviously, Savage Worlds comes from Deadlands, right? Deadlands was first, and Savage Worlds was him saying we can simplify this, we can streamline this, and this is the third edition. I think the Adventures edition, which is the current one, is the third edition of Savage Worlds. And I think that shows because I have the original Deadlands, and it shows its age, right? It wasn't bad for when it was made, but we've as a collective have gotten better at making games. And I appreciate Pinnacle and Shane, moving along with that.
Some of us remember Thaco and some of us are glad they don't.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'll be honest, I still run. I run a bi-weekly classic game
awesome.
for my friends still. And I love the system, and I do miss some things like the spell casting for hucksters back then was you draw it basically was to deal with the devil every time. And I like that, and I like a lot of the crunch, but it does end up sort of showing through as opposed to some of the more narrative things you can get with the Savage World system.
Yeah, and I think too, Corey, for me, there's a lot to be said, and this Donald, this gets into you and I having our offline discussions about Shadowrun. There's a lot to be said about feeling comfortable, right? I mean, when you have a table that knows the system, it doesn't matter if it is hardcore crunchy GURPS or it's dogs in the vineyard, right? If you know it, then all of that fades away when everybody's comfortable and everybody knows it. I shudder to think trying to introduce original Deadlands to new players, especially now what I've seen you can do, right? I can put at the campsite when I go camping, we had a table full of people that have never role played. Most of them had never role played before. Some of them had some experience with it. There was a couple that I put the playbooks from Blades in the Dark in front of them. We made characters within 15 minutes and we started playing. And, it's not unique to Blades, right? That's where we are now with design, is that you can play as you go. We're going to get ready to run icons. And when I run icons, we're going to learn as we play. With the Fear Itself game we're running right now, those guys and gals did not know how to play Fear Itself, but it's a simple, elegant system, and it's a little bit more modern than classic Deadlands. All right, Eric, talk to me. Another veteran of Deadlands. What did you think of the system? As far as how it showed itself over the least 3 episodes, what'd you think of the scenario?
I'm not so much a veteran of like original Deadlands. I knew about it, but I've only ever played Savage Deadlands. Right. I really enjoyed the scenario. I got really excited when you said this was one Shane wrote, and it's really cool to know that the creator wrote this, and we played through it, and it's probably the biggest thing for me in this experience was my playing of Deadlands was in your seat, Greg, where I DM'd it for 6-7 months.
Yep.
And so like I finally got to sit down and play and kind of see it from the other side of the curtain here, and it's intense. Like that's one thing I like about the Savage system in general. I've played Deadlands and Savage Rifts, and like everybody always jokes it's called Savage for a reason.
Yep.
And I mean, we just proved that.
Yeah.
And it really is on both sides. Like we were blowing rolls out of the water early on. Like we got through those first 6 dogs like they were nothing.
Yeah, like they were.
Yeah.
I kind of wish those rolls would have come later on in the evening, but but like and as a DM, I've sat there and like I thought I had these awesome encounters designed, and then like my players would just blow through the big guy.
Yep.
And then the minions would almost take them down. So like it's really cool to see, and it was great playing. Just
This
a
is
lot of fun.
Ton of fun.
I've gotten a lot of feedback from my friends who have watched, and they loved how much our group just kind of, and I felt it too. Like this group just seemed like from day one, we just seemed to kind of click together and start joking and really getting into it. So like, I think that helped a lot, but I don't have a lot to say besides this was just a ton of fun. And honestly, if you want me back, I will be back in the next.
That makes me happy. That makes me happy. I'll get sappy here for a second. Like one of the things everybody should know, if you don't, you should listen to my podcast. There's another podcast that I'm a huge fan of, Gaming and BS. Both Sean and Brett have become friends. We've spent some time together, and I love their podcast. I love the stuff that they do. One of the things I love the most about Gaming and BS is they have put together, they call them BSers. They've put together an incredible community. And to the point where if like somebody says to me, like I've been listening to them for a while, I know they're cool people because Sean and Brett don't hide who they are. They don't hide their opinions about games and about how we should be as a community. And if you stick around with them, then I know that there's going to be a lot of things we agree upon. I feel like that's starting with Third Floor Wars a little bit. I mean, at this point now, I have pulled in 4 or 5 now games with patrons. And some of you like Donald and I have a relationship before this happened. Jim and I did, but Eric and Corey I didn't really know. And they said they wanted to play, and at this point I've got to say, like, we're starting to put together some cool people on the third floor too. Like I've yet to have a jerk on the stream.
I remember like the night I saw this post go up, because I started following you to listen to all the Malifaux deep dives.
Yeah.
And then like I saw this post go up where you're like, hey, I'm doing a Deadlands game. If you're a patron, you can ask to play in it. And you could ask my wife. It was maybe 15 minutes later. I was a patron. I had sent you a message about wanting to play.
It worked.
If I could jump in real quick, I had basically the same experience. I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I got an email, and I was like shaking my wife. I was like, Catherine, Craig's running Deadlands. She's like, just sign up and go away.
I cheated. Because Craig and I had been discussing about me possibly getting in one of these games, and he'd been talking about different things. So I kind of heard about Deadlands before the email went out, and I'm like, "I'll do Deadlands. I've been wanting to play in that setting."
Yeah. The first seat was filled by Donald before the announcement was made. Full disclosure. All right. So, and people have heard me say this before, but the opinion I always want to hear after every stream, whether Jim's playing or not, is I always go for the Jim take. So Jim, first time playing Savage Worlds, first time Deadlands, right?
Yeah, first time.
3 episodes in. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the system, the setting, and then the scenario.
So I really like the system. The thing I like is that even when if I don't have a skill or I have a D4 in a skill, right? The exploding dice mean you can still hit that number. right? As opposed to like, when you have that the single die system and you have a stat that's super low, it's really hard to hit, and it's just you're just bad at it, right? Even when you're bad at something, you can be okay at something, and that's really interesting and cool.
You proved that in the first episode.
Well, and I think, honestly, Edward proved that throughout, because he was 1000% out of his element here, right? He's shooting guns and swinging beating sticks.
And I will say the wild die is also nice, because as long as you at least have a
Right.
skill, so you don't get the -2, you got a 50-50 shot, even if you've got a D4.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about the setting, Edward or Jim?
I really enjoy the Weird West in general. It's a super cool setting. All the sorts of things. There's a ton of things in characters that I've made that I didn't get to play this time, that are super fun. I had myself a Harrowed in my back pocket, and then like as we're starting, we're spitballing characters, and you go, you can't do Harrowed, and I'm like, okay, fine.
We have the same rule campsite too, just so you know.
That's okay.
Yeah, by the way, I got hit with that one too. It's like, my character got beaten up in his backstory. He could start as a Harrowed.
That'd be cool, right? There's a lot of cool stuff about that. So yeah, the whole of the system is super cool.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope.
The scenario I struggled with in the middle, because I felt like I just didn't know where we should go, and then it went from I have no idea where to go to, well, we have to go to the next building, and that I struggled with a bit in the middle.
Yeah, and that's there's a little railroady happening on a convention scenario, right?
Right.
And really in one shots in general.
Sure.
And we flexed this one more than I think I would flex it. I would have railroaded you even more, than if we were at a convention, right? At a convention, we only got 6 hours.
Right.
We don't have 9 hours to play it. So I gave you guys a lot more breathing room. We spent a little bit more time with the characters. We had a lot of fun with the Marshall and Gus, which I enjoyed.
I enjoyed the going building to building thing, but I also enjoyed the whole, we could always just go back to the two idiots in the bar. And they always gave us good information, but we always knew that end of the day they were just going to go back to what they were doing.
I had a ton of fun with them as a GM.
Yeah.
They were good characters. They were played
I will
really
say,
well.
There's a YouTube channel that I watch called Viva La Dirt League, and
Yeah.
they have a series called Epic NPC Man. And those two characters really felt like they were out of Epic NPC Man.
That's great. That's great. So real quick, Jim, what are you hoping to play when we play this? Because Jim is going to be playing this in a couple weeks at the campsite. So who's at the top of your stack now?
At the top of my pile for camping, I have a what's the weird scientist class in this one?
Mad Scientist.
Weird mad scientist.
Yeah.
And my plan is to pull in traits and stuff from my Star Wars scientist character.
Nice.
That was played at camping a year ago now.
Yeah, more than
so. And so he's going to be sort of a little guy who's sort of electro gadgetery, and he might be a mute, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that's fun. It's another really cool take on Mage.
Right. The power system is super cool in
so
this game,
cool.
right? Where it's all everybody's doing the exact same things, right? And so they were able to say, everybody has entangle, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's all about the trappings.
And then it's like your entangle is a weave of cards, whereas my entangle will be some sort of electrical based thing or some such like that. And it's so cool. And so it's the same. All the powers are boiled down to what they do, and then you get to make them your own based on.
You should call it a Tesla cage.
Hell yeah. All right, so this is my first time running this edition of Savage Worlds. I ran a long time ago. I don't know if I ran or play. I may have just played the original. I don't remember whether I played or ran it. And I remember liking it then. But I was still kind of GURPS guy at that point, if I remember correctly. It's a little foggy. So I really count this as my first time really running Savage Worlds. And it's funny. I can tell you it plays better than it reads. And I think it's one of those games where you can't get your head around it until you play it or run it. Because there's enough things that are a little bit different in there that make sense while you're playing. Like the wild die, I thought was a little much when I was reading it, but seeing it in play, I love it. I have become in the last year a huge fan of exploding dice in everything I do. Every game I play, I like exploding dice, which is funny because 3 years ago, Craig would have hated them, right? More RNG. I don't want it. But now, like, I love the excitement of it.
Yeah.
That, like, there was a chance that Pipsqueak Edward
I was going to win. It was going to happen. It was
going to
it was
take
a
out
moment.
Devil. And that doesn't happen without exploding dice, right? Or, you know, the epic big bad does 34 points of damage, right? Like that's like those epic moments are because of those things, of that exploding dice. And it comes down to me realizing in gaming in general, as much as I enjoy competitive Malifaux, I'm realizing what I like more than anything as part of what I've been enjoying about MCP is I enjoy the moments. And I think that that's what I love about the most in role playing are the moments, and the most about playing tabletop games. And I feel like exploding dice feed that beast and make those happen more, which I love.
Yeah.
And I will give credit to Jamie Perkins, who's the designer of God Tier, is involved with Guild Ball. Just a fantastic guy from the UK. Works for Steamforged. Was one of my earliest interviews on the show, and I give credit to Jamie for really making me rethink RNG and opening my mind up to it, because I think that's when I first started to realize that maybe I needed to look at it a little bit different. So, gentlemen. It won't be tomorrow, but I'll be shocked if we don't play again. So maybe
I bet he
late
sends
this
the
year.
information about when it will be tomorrow.
Yeah, these guys know me. I'll be like, so what is
I'm
Thursday?
pretty sure he has games planned through the end of the year. So
Yeah.
Yeah, October.
And there's always time to
Boy,
squeeze
I'll
in
tell you
another
what,
one, right?
The problem is that I've got just a stack of Deadlands that I want to run. There's so many good things. Real quick, incidentally, for those of you watching, this is free on Pinnacle's website. It's called Dead Men Walking is the name of the scenario. I am dying for these 4 guys to go read it, because I'm very interested what they thought about the changes I made and how, you know, what I kept and what I didn't keep. So I'm dying for the reviews as you guys get it. Can't thank you enough, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and set up a quick raid. Sidewinder and everybody else that was in the chat, I appreciate you guys. Any last thoughts or shout outs? Donald, you owe some shout outs. You consume so much great content. Do some shout outs.
Well, the big one that I like mentioning, I've already mentioned to you guys, is there's a Twitch channel I'm friends with some of the members called Nat 21 Adventures. That is Ren Fair performers. A lot of them are based out of the New Jersey Ren Fair, and they're actually right now they just started a something Delta Green campaign. Thursday nights they're horror nights. They do their main campaign on Tuesday nights, where they're currently doing the Battle of the Bands. It's an all-bard party.
Nice.
They've got one of the gentlemen at Shakespeare Approves. He's a Ren Fair performer that does William Shakespeare. He does doing sonnets. So if you get a chance, just go look, at least go to nat21adventures.com and just look at their schedule and see if there's stuff that, you might enjoy over there.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Any other shout outs before we raid?
That's most so if you like wargaming, the other big podcast to listen to is 3 Men in a War Game, which is another really great community. You're talking about the game in BS. 3 Men in a War Game is a very similar community.
Yeah, good dudes. They're locals.
Yeah,
locals down here. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna go raid. We're gonna go check out the Game Nights, who I enjoy. They're playing Monster Hearts right now, which is also a very, very good game. Take care, everybody. Oh, that was fun, dudes.
Yeah,
that was fun. I was rooting for you.
So I will say, if you don't kill the players off, it's easier to
Almost
shrink the number of adventures you have left to play, because you lose sessions every time they have to do a new session 0 because you've killed all the characters.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
It's like I said, we tried our damned. That was not.
Yeah. The problem was
You threw away the
The only-
whacking stick.
the only way it looked like the only way you could actually
Yeah.
harm Devil was with that whacking stick.
Correct.
You know.
That's my thought was like, okay, this guy is so tough, and there's only like one option for it. Like, I wonder if we're going about
No.
it all wrong. So I was like, all right,
I
maybe
No,
we should
we-
try.
I think I would have done the same thing, Corey.
Yeah.
I think I would have done the same thing. And quite honestly, like there's 5 maybe activations where you spent doing something else. There's no guarantee you guys still wouldn't have ended up in the same place.
Right,
Right.
with
for
the
sure.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
there's a joke about don't bring a knife to a gunfight. We brought guns to a knife fight.
It,
And honestly, what I expected was that he was going to have armor. He'd say have like a toughness 4
Mhm.
with 4 or 5 points of armor, and the whacking stick had something that negated all of his armor. So while you would still be able to damage him, it's a
Mhm.
lot tougher unless you're using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things where I actually played with Shane at a con once, and we were fighting a giant boar thing, and with that, when you get the pre-gens, I think it's a little easier to kind of make sure that you've got the people
The skill
prepped
set.
for,
Yeah, and I struggle with that,
Yeah.
Corey, because like part of me wants to say, guys, here's what we're doing, and you probably want to like, part of me, could have said to Jim, hey Jim, you're gonna want a little bit of combat in there, buddy, or you're gonna want to make sure you got a little
might
bit
want
of
more than a D4 in shooting.
a little melee. But I also enjoy, and I could be wrong, I also enjoy because I change it to the party, right? Like I pull back you guys weren't as combat oriented, right? So I pull back a little bit on it, and in character creation so easy in Deadlands that I was just like, you know what, let's make our own characters, let's not do some pre-gens. And you guys are all experienced too, that helps.
Right. And I don't know about these guys, but I don't mind playing suboptimal. I mean,
I would rather play fun than have and I get into this argument with some of my friends, because I have one friend who he cannot make a choice that is suboptimal.
Yeah.
There's something about him that he cannot do it without a bunch of regret, shame, whatever. But he cannot do it, period.
Right.
And him and I are like, because he's always like, why does your character have that? I'm like, well, because in their backstory, this happened, so that's why they're like that. And he's like, yeah, but it'd be better if you took this. And I'm like, mechanically, yes.
No, I don't disagree at all. I think, and I don't want to make it sound like I didn't have a good time or like the